Coalition, I think that's the Council on Aging, excuse me, for Friday, September the 7th, from 7 p.m. to 10:30 p.m., Saturday, September 8th, 7 p.m. to 10:30 p.m., and Sunday, September 9th, 2007, from 2 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. The event is The Odd Couple, theatrical performances at the Lowell Senior Center, 276 Broadway. This being a fundraiser, there will be 2 bottles of champagne on each table during a performance.
Introduce yourself for the record, please.
Yeah, hi, I'm Bernard B. Golden from the East End Social Club, Lowell.
Okay. Rita, would you introduce yourself for the record, please? Stay right there.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Rita Mercier, 221 Burnham Road. I'm here in no official capacity, just that I'm the Vice President of the Friends of the Council on Aging, speaking on behalf of our President, Patrick Smith.
And Patrick Smith has agreed to have the license put in his name?
Yes, he has.
Okay. Corey Belanger, step up, introduce yourself.
Corey Belanger, Major's Pub.
Okay, and who else was
Ask if we have any here.
who else was supposed to be here?
Do we have
Jessica
Jessica
here?
Banks?
You are. Okay,
She
step
came in
up
while-
and there
while
we
you were
go.
going through 'em. Okay.
Now
good.
we've got all of you.
Jessica Banks from the Lowell Memorial Auditorium.
Okay, thank you, Jessica. All right. I think all of you have been before this board before. I don't see anybody that we have any problems with. Microbrew, adjacent to Songas. Okay, just looking at the Microbrew Championship. Have you ran that before, Corey?
Oh, yes, Mr. Chairman, this is our 6th year, to be exact.
Okay,
Yep.
fine. Okay, any of these things we've ever had any problems with, Captain? Okay. That being said, I'll make a motion that we approve the licenses.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor say yes.
Yes.
I'd like to ask my fellow commissioner, we'll forgive the fee for the senior citizen center for the, you pay $1 just to make it legal, okay?
And I can reassure the board that I will be having no drinks those 3 days.
Oh, don't worry, they're gonna be watching you, Rita. Okay. All right. Okay, folks, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Commission will now take up the matter of applications for special events permit for amplified outdoor public entertainment. Adriana DeStefano of the Cafe Paradiso for live music with sound system at the outdoor venue of Palmer Street from the corner of Middle to Market Street on the following dates. Friday, August 17th, Saturday, August 18th, Friday, August 24th, Saturday, August 25th, Friday, August 31st, Saturday, September 1, Friday, September 7th, Saturday, September 8th, Friday, September 14th, and Saturday, September 15th. The hours for each date are 6 p.m. to 12 midnight. Sam Bath Bow of the Lowell Southeast Asian Water Festival, Inc. for Saturday, August 18th, 2007, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. The event will take place at the Sampson Pavilion on Pawtucket Boulevard with traditional dances and musicians. Andrew Sadon, Special Events Coordinator, City of Lowell, for Ribbon Brews, Friday, September 7th, from 6 p.m. to 12 midnight, Saturday, September 8th, 12 noon to 12 midnight, and Sunday, September 9th, from 12 noon to 6 p.m. A disc jockey and bands with sound system under a tent canopy at Lot A, adjacent to the Songus Arena on Martin Luther King Jr. Way.
Okay, Sam Bath, Bo, are you here? I don't see a commissioner. He's not here, okay.
She's not here.
Introduce yourself for the record, please.
Adriana De Stefano with Cafe Paradiso.
Andy St. Ange, City of Lowell.
Okay. Adrian, I noticed that you have your permits in place and everything. I want you to be absolutely sure. Now this is gonna shut off Market Street to Palmer Street. Palmer to Middle.
To Middle Street. Middle.
Okay. Now, this is strictly for sound and dance. This is not, this is, there's the Blue Shamrocks down one corner. the,
We are working together, Commissioner.
you're all together on this, okay? And you all realize that this is strictly for music. This is not for drinking.
Yes, we do.
You have to control the alcohol in the area that you're licensed to have alcohol
Each establishment will restrict its liquor consumption within the premises.
within its own premises, okay? Just to be absolutely sure, I think that it would be wise that, I'm sure you've got a police detail?
Yes, we will.
Yeah, it would be wise probably make copies of the permit and give them to the police, make sure that the other restaurants that abut that area
They will all be
also
posted at each individual.
thoroughly understand so that there's no conflict or problems with somebody drifting out of one of the expanded areas and now you got, who started the problem, okay? We don't need to have that. I think it's a great idea. I might as well bring up this at the same time. The commission received a letter. It's one letter, but it's from a gentleman that lives down there on Market Street. He claims that the noise at the folk festival kept him awake, that the music from Palmer Street was excessive. I don't know if you saw this letter or not, but anyways, he feels that the bands and the music in that area do not contribute to the overall atmosphere in the downtown area. I'm not going to be, I'm not going to express it any other way. It's one guy in the whole area, okay? What I think I would do if I were you is get a copy of the letter from the secretary, give this gentleman a call, talk to him, try to, keep the music down. I know the music, he said, went to midnight the two nights and like 10 o'clock on Sunday night. And he has to go to work at 7 o'clock in the morning. Okay?
Okay, well,
we don't-
I'll get a copy of the letter and I'll
Amplified
communicate the
sound
information
needs
with
to
them.
be within a reasonable amplified sound. It should be enjoyed by all the people that you're entertaining, or the Blue Shamrock, or the rest, Fortunatos across the street, but not by everybody else in the city of Lowell. If I can hear your music and enjoy it, why should I bother coming down? I can sit home and enjoy it.
That's true.
If I want to enjoy it, I'm going to go down and participate, and that's half the reason that you do that, okay? So you take that into consideration, please. Fortunately, as far as I know, the folk festival went very well. We haven't received a whole lot of complaints, and hopefully, we're going to maintain that. It's a good, makes the downtown area go, all right? With that, I'll make a motion to approve the license.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Sabath.
Is Sam Beth?
No. All
Right
right.
here? No.
Okay.
Just think it's her now.
But-
Andy? You can speak a little bit on the Southeast Asian Festival.
I can.
Okay.
I can. They are having program music from roughly 10 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Okay.
I know that much, and they pretty much always adhere to those regulations.
Okay. Based on your recommendation,
Yes.
they have the music contained over at the pavilion over
We're
there.
at the Samples Pavilion.
On that
To my
thing.
knowledge, there never has been a complaint, and Sam Beth is a pretty good organizer. She's done this before.
Okay.
All right, yeah, on your recommendation, I'll make the motion that we go ahead and grant it.
Motion made. I'll second it. All in favor, say yes.
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 All right,
Okay.
thank you.
All right. So you make sure you
I'll contact her.
contact her. Make sure you express.
Okay.
If I can hear the music on this side of the river, there's no sense in going to that side of the river.
No,
right?
she's quite familiar with these proceedings, 'cause she's actually the producer out back here.
Oh, okay.
Okay. You've seen her around.
All righty. Thank you.
All right. Now I've got the ribbon and bruise. Arena. Our 6th annual.
We got that. You were on that one.
Yep.
You've got that. Yeah. That's
All set then.
You're all
yeah.
set.
You were one of the three.
Yeah. All right.
You're number 3. It's a long time before you'll become number one. but
Okay.
You're right on
I'll
there.
get there.
Number
Ah, you're
3.
good.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. Okay, Charles. This is. Okay. Gilbicki's.
I have the, I'm sorry, I have the application right here.
Oh, okay.
Commission will now open a hearing on the application for the transfer of the all alcoholic beverages packaged goods store license from Ramos Package Store, Inc., doing business as Gilboa's Package Store, Carlos M. Ramos, President, to a corporation known as ASDK Ram Corporation, Sanjay Patel, President, for premises at 77 Branch Street, 33 Queen Street. It is requested that Sanjay Patel be approved as the manager of record for the Ram Corporation. And the legal notice was published June 27th in the Lowell Sun newspaper. It's not required that abutters be notified.
Good afternoon.
Make sure you pull the mic down and talk into it so that everybody can
Good
hear you.
afternoon. Attorney Brian Correa. I'm here on behalf of Mr. Ramos. Mr. Patel is on the way, but apparently he's stuck in traffic, so they haven't arrived
Want to
yet.
postpone it for a while?
I would appreciate it.
Oh,
Thank you.
No problem at all. Have a seat.
Sorry,
Relax.
Your name, please?
Brian Correa. Correia.
Creedon? Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
LLC. Yeah, that one can't be done. Just circle it. Did you notice that? They're gonna put a
Dollar value on license?
Okay, you might, where is he? Okay. We just noticed on your application, you have a typed in here that you're going to assess a dollar value of the license at the closing.
It's not our application. I'm representing the seller. The application was submitted by Mr. Patel, who's the buyer, who's actually just walked in the door. So I didn't prepare that documentation, so I don't.
Who
I'm not
did?
aware.
When we call the issue up, we're gonna need somebody,
Right.
we're gonna have to go over that issue. okay?
Certainly, thank you.
Right. Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Pawnbroker's license.
Good thing I got younger eyes than you.
You bet your life. All right, this is
Where's it at?
Middlesex Street,
All right.
Branch in Middlesex. Go ahead. 790.
Commission will now take up the matter of applications by a limited liability company, Amoy, A-M-O-Y
It's
LLC,
gonna be in a
Ling
house.
A, manager for licenses
That's not good.
as pawnbroker, old gold, silver, and platinum, and secondhand articles for premises at 719 Middlesex Street. Anyone here on that matter?
Anyone here on a pawnbroker's license?
719 Middlesex?
Going once, going twice. Bottom of the pile. Is this a house?
Appears to be a house.
Yeah.
under subject renovation.
Okay.
Commission will now open a hearing on the allegation of misconduct by Acting Superintendent of Police Kenneth LaValle against Vo Inc., doing business as Fo My My, Jimmy Tran manager, all alcoholic beverages restaurant licensee at 1733 Middlesex Street, the claim being that there was sales service to intoxicated patrons.
Introduce yourself for the record, please.
Attorney Teresa Spearing for Vo Inc. I filed a communication with the board for continuance for the 23rd.
Are you an attorney, ma'am?
Yes,
Okay. The problem with this is a violation that took place on Tuesday, August 7th, okay? Wait a minute. No, hold on, today's the 7th. I'm off, I'm sorry. I mean, where's the...
2 days ago.
Yeah,
Okay.
huh?
Right.
June 5th. Yeah,
Okay.
but how, we're gonna just keep getting, we can't keep giving continue. Look at this thing happened, pertaining on the 15th.
We'll give them,
Gonna
go ahead and
gonna
give
back
them
up to another week? You're not gonna be here.
Well, I'm not going to be here on the 23rd, but I can be here on the 16th if we want to hold a special meeting. And, I mean, if not, we're getting into September. Why don't we go?
I mean, you're just getting to,
Ask, is there a possibility you could be ready on the 16th, or 1 week from today?
I subpoenaed some records, and I have not received them,
see.
so I was told it could possibly be scheduled for the 6th of September. Because I understand the 23rd, someone's on vacation.
Not on vacation. I'm actually in active military status
Okay,
at
sorry.
the end of this month.
So
It's
I
not a
was under
vacation.
the impression that it was going to be continued to the 6th of, plus I don't have the documents that I subpoenaed, so, and I
well,
don't
the-
anticipate
Let me hear
getting
from
them.
Council.
I spoke with counsel, and that technically only the License Commission can issue a subpoena for issues before the License Commission. We spoke. I do have the records. I haven't given them to counsel yet, but I do have them. I can give them today.
All right, I mean, I have no problem with you turning over those records. Do you have any problem? I mean,
I have no problem with it, except that, you know, the problem I have with this is the timing. What was the date of the incidents on this?
I believe it was July 1st,
July 15th.
15th.
The problem with these are, now this is gonna get backed up a month, and we have more complaints coming in. And, thank you.
When do you want to schedule it?
I'll be honest. I mean, I'm comfortable with either, you know. we'll
It
just
was
put it on-
July 1st.
Yeah. We'll just put it on the
Okay.
September date. If she's not gonna be ready, you know, if they're just getting the documents. Just get the documents today, why don't we just put them
Do I keep this? This is mine? Okay.
I don't wanna give her a chance to get ready. All right. Are you available for, when we put this back onto September 6th?
Yes.
The only thing I'm gonna say about it, I'm gonna go along with it, because I really have no choice. But if another complaint comes in on this, or between now and then, another complaint comes down. See, I don't believe in letting this stuff go on and on and on. This is ridiculous, okay? It's ridiculous. You need to hear the complaint, they need to know and fix what's going wrong, because unfortunately, in places that serve alcohol, when something goes wrong, it starts to go wrong and it never stops, unless we stop it. So I'm gonna go along with my fellow commissioner's recommendation to give you an extension.
Thank you,
All right, we'll see you on September 6th.
thank you.
Motion made for September 6th, seconded. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Commission will now open a hearing on the allegation of misconduct filed by the acting superintendent of police, Kenneth LaValle, against KOB Enterprises, Inc., doing business Highland Tap, John C. Crowley, Jr., manager, all alcoholic beverages restaurant licensee at 318 Westford Street. There are two complaints, first being a sales service to intoxicated patrons, and the second being 19 patrons on the premises after 9 in the morning, 2 in the morning, excuse me, several of whom observed consuming alcoholic beverages. Mr. Crowley, the manager of record, filed a communication with the law department that was received July 30th, requesting a continuance.
Introduce yourself for the record.
Good afternoon, John C. Crowley, KOB Enterprises.
Okay, I understand that you filed because you can't afford a lawyer.
Well, I have an attorney that was going to do it at no charge, but he could not make this date. Right now, I waive the continuance. I wouldn't want to drag it out. I just want to take care of it today.
So right now, you want to have this heard?
Yes, I do.
Is that what you're saying? All right. Have you read both of these complaints?
I have gone through it, yes, and I'd
Okay,
like
did
to-
you read the part in the letter where the chief said, in the past 18 months, the Lowell Police Department has responded to fights, assaults, and disturbances at the Highland Tap 20 times. In addition to causing excessive demand on police resources, this level of activity causes a disruption to the surrounding neighborhood. Did you read that?
Yes, sir, I have read that. I've only owned the bar. I took possession of it 7 months ago. Prior to 7 months, that's, as far as I'm concerned, not my concern, because I did not own it.
Okay.
And I was told more than once by this commission that if I call the police, I won't have any problems. If I have a problem in my establishment, which I have
Wait,
been
you got a
doing.
problem when somebody walks in at 2 o'clock and there are 20 people sitting at the bar.
I
You need
understand
some
that.
remedial reading time.
The person that was on that night, I'm just stating this, the person that was on that night, my assistant manager, he says 1:55, the police say 2:05, I don't know, I was not present.
Well, let me tell you something. We're not going to dispute, is the officer here?
No, I'm not going to dispute that, I'm not
Yes.
disputing.
He is.
He is.
All right. Could we hear from him, please? From the officer that was involved in this? I'm sorry? Well, the one, which one's the date with the, right. Well, just tell me about the times you've been there.
Shortly after 2, I was there once. The door was open. I don't have the exact date. I think it was July 14th. I'm sorry, no, the previous date. On July 4th, I was there. It was 2:04 a.m. according to our computer-aided dispatch system. We were off there for a fight. The door was wide open, some inside, some outside fight. Most of our attention was on the fight. I didn't see if there was anyone drinking in there. I can't speak to that. On the 14th of July, happened to drive by. It was 2:05 a.m. and the bar was full. There was 19 people sitting all around the horseshoe-shaped bar drinking. With drinks.
When you talked to the bartender, what did he say?
He said he was trying to get them out.
Okay, when you told them to leave, did they leave orderly?
Yes, everyone got right
No
off.
one, you didn't resist or anything?
They
Nobody gave you?
They snuck
Okay.
right, they all took right off.
What about the time before that? Did they leave?
Yes, yeah, we
Okay.
actually got them out of there.
All right. It's easy to say that you've owned the bar only 18 months, only 8 months, and you're not concerned, but you got to be concerned.
I'm not, okay. I'm
Hear
sorry.
me out.
I'm sorry.
You got to be concerned. Because if the bar had problems before you got there, you bought them. You buy the business, you buy the good, and you buy the bad. You have no choice. You can't pick it out. You buy the good and you buy the bad. And eventually, if you spend enough time at that bar, you're going to know who the good customers are and who the bad customers are.
I understand.
It's that simple. There's absolutely no reason whatsoever that at 1:30, that's last call, and everybody's out the door by 1:45 and gone. Not hanging around the front, not walking around the back. That bar abuts a house right behind it. You're right in the heart of a neighborhood. There are people that live there. They're entitled to a life.
I understand.
Okay? I hope you do. I mean, I know that the folks behind you, a couple of years back, had a young baby. They called me one day, went down. I talked to the gentleman that owned it before you. I never had another problem with him. He cleaned up the outside, and it looked fine for a while. I hope we're not going back to, I know we're not going
No,
back to that.
I keep the door
I know
closed.
that we're not. Okay, it's not a hope. I know we're not. Because you're in a neighborhood. And I know that the Lowell Police Department is not going to spend its time up at your bar. I hope you understand that.
I do.
They have better things to do. Everybody complains about, the police and where are they. Everybody should know when it's 2 o'clock. If you're not there at 2 o'clock in the morning, buy a damn alarm clock and put it on the wall and set it for 1:45 in the morning so the alarm goes off. Ooh, I got to get everybody out of the bar. You know what I mean? You got to do what it's going to take to get it done.
May I
Because
al-
you can't be coming in here like this, and you're too new at it. You know, you're too new. You're a new owner, a spanky new owner. And spanky new owners sometimes, unfortunately, get taken advantage of because they've known many of the former customers, and they're not looking at it objectively. Okay?
I'm sorry.
All right, I'd like to know, what do you do as far as security inside the bar? Because I see
Since
on
the-
the
since the
one
last
report
inst-
that there was the fight inside, nobody from the bar called to report the fight, there were injured patrons, and the police were actually called by observers, so...
There was no fight in the bar. That's a false statement. I was there. There were 8 people, 8 patrons in the bar. When I closed, I let those 8 people out the door. I closed and locked the door. And then it states that there were 12 plus more people in the bar. That's also a false statement. There were only 8 patrons in the bar, and they all left. And since the last incident, I've installed $3,000 worth of surveillance equipment, and I've also voluntarily closed between 1 and 1:30 and have since had no problems. And I'm going to continue to close before 2 a.m. because that's when a majority of the problems happen, between 1:45 and 2 a.m.
You said surveillance equipment, is that record?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
24 hours a day. Outside and inside.
Well, ask him about this guy who's profusely bleeding.
Sergeant Silence, were you there from this note on the 4th?
Yes, I was.
All right, could you basically fill me in on what you observed?
Mr. Commissioner, Officer Fenlon is present if you wish to hear from him.
I would.
Yeah. Did anybody ever go back to see this guy? It says he had a large laceration over his left eye, was bleeding profusely. They took him to the hospital. Obviously, he must have had stitches or something.
I can't speak to what happened with him after. I do know one of our detectives, Detective Erickson, did follow up with him.
Hey, good afternoon, Officer Fenlon. Could you just basically fill us in on your observations from July 4th out at the club? What was happening that night?
Yes. On July 4th, I was working. There was a call for a fight in Couple Square in the area of the Highland Tap. On arrival, myself and Sergeant Seops observed some people standing outside the bar while there were approximately a dozen people exiting the bar. This was at about 5 after 2 in the morning, 2:04 was the time of the call for the fight. After exiting the cruiser, we observed a female who was lying down on the ground a couple of feet from the entrance to the bar. Initially, she was unresponsive, but eventually she managed to get to her feet. I asked her what happened. She said that she didn't know. She thought she had a lot to drink. There were people there that said that she was assaulted, but people standing outside the bar when we asked them what had happened to her prior to her regaining consciousness, and they said that she was assaulted, but they wouldn't provide any information about the assailants or anything like that. While this was going on, the ambulance was dispatched to the scene, and we encountered another person who was a male who approached us, who had a large laceration to his head. He was bleeding profusely. He appeared to be highly intoxicated also. He explained that while he was inside the bar, is what he described as he was sucker punched. A fight broke out in the bar that he wasn't involved with. However, he was sucker punched in the face. He, in turn, was also unable to provide any information in regards to the assault or the assailants. And as I said before, he was highly intoxicated. He was transported via the ambulance to the hospital for the injuries that he had sustained. We then had the opportunity to speak with the bartender and the bar owner about the incident. They did say that there was an incident that happened, but they both stated that the fight happened not inside the bar, but it happened outside on the sidewalk. When we asked them about if they saw anything or who started the fight, who the assailants were, they were also unable to provide any information in regards to this. And they also, when asked if they called the police about the fight, they as far as at that time of the night, at the time of my report, I checked with the dispatch at the police department, and there was only one call received for the disturbance, and it was believed to be a passerby. Nobody from the bar, none of the bar owner's management, contacted police in regards to the fight.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions for the officer?
No.
You were the bartender that night.
No, I was not.
Who was? Oh, okay. Richard
Kopazinski.
Kopinski, is he here?
He's not available, no.
He's not with us. Okay. Did you talk to him about this?
Yes, I did.
And he said none of this happened?
I was there. I was present when I closed that night, and I was present when I let all the 8 people out of the bar. And then I closed my door. When I heard the disturbance, I was behind the bar cleaning. When I heard the disturbance, I went to the front door. When I opened the front door is when the cruiser pulled up. This woman was not face down on the ground. She was sitting on the sidewalk in front of the door. When I walked out, I reached my hand out and pulled her up. There was no fight in the bar. If there was, the police would have been called right away.
You didn't see this guy bleeding from the head?
No, I did not.
Okay.
My windows, I cannot see out. I can't see through walls. My windows are 6 feet off the ground.
Okay.
I heard people talking outside while I was closed, but that's normal. When I heard a disturbance is when I went to the front door.
Had they been custody?
I did not make a call because the cruiser had pulled up when I opened the door.
Take it. You want me to? Yep. Well, I think that you have to understand that obviously these people had been drinking in your bar. I might suggest that it sounds to me like you might need a good optometrist. I don't know. I think that people have problems, obviously, seeing the time clock in your place, and then secondly, I can't imagine how you can miss somebody who's bleeding, having problems like that. Once they're in your bar and they walk out, just because they stumbled to the door and they made it, that doesn't absolve you of the responsibility.
I'm not using that as an excuse.
Well, obviously the lady had too much to drink. You're saying she was sitting down.
May I
the
also
police
say something?
officer's saying that she was laying flat on her face, and other people that were at your bar or outside there said that she had been assaulted. So it just doesn't seem to me that you were very observant as to what went on. I think you have a pattern here developing that you need to, maybe closing at 1:30 is a good thing. Getting the problem with closing at 2 o'clock in the city of Lowell is most of the surrounding towns close at 1, and a lot of people shoot into Lowell for their last drink. And we have talked about this many times at this board. I think you need to take a good, long, hard look at this situation. For somebody that's been in this business for such a short period of time, number one, I think your attitude towards this needs a good looking at. Because if the problems that were there at the bar before you got there are manifesting themselves now, this tells me you haven't done anything to straighten out the bar. That's what it tells me, okay? And yes, maybe these 20 calls that they made weren't when you owned it, but they were to that bar. And if you don't take steps to stop it, it just goes from bad to worse. You know yourself, there are people who go out at night and they're going to drink because they have the right to drink and get drunk. And you know what? I want you to look here, up and down. Turn around and look for a second. Look over on this side. How many of these people are your customers? How many of these people are your customers? Not a one. Not a one. And they're not going to, and your customers are not here, and they are not going to suffer 10 cents of financial loss. Not 10 cents. They're probably back at your bar watching this on television saying, you know, oh, look at him, what is, you know? But they're not going to suffer the loss that you're going to suffer because this comes out of your pocket. We try to tell folks that, you know, when you get into these situations, the only guy that loses here is the bar owner. So I think you need to step back and kind of look at this and understand that this isn't just something that fell out of the sky. And if you're not seeing it, somehow or another you're going to have to. Ray?
I mean, I'm going to agree with you. The stuff that happened before you bought it, it's not your responsibility. You do have to be aware, though, that if you bought that, if you're keeping the same clientele, and that clientele is generating these kind of problems, it's going to be your problem soon enough. You know, I'm encouraged that you got the security system in place and that you've got tapes available, and that if there's ever an incident in the bar, we should be able to, you know, play the videotape and see exactly who did what from now on. I'm encouraged by that. For that reason, I'll make the motion for a 3-day suspension and ask that it be suspended for 6 months, meaning that if you're back in front of us during that 6 months, you'll be closed down for 3 days from these past incidents, and then we'll make a determination on the whatever the new incident is. But, you know, I mean, if the people are coming out and they're falling down drunk and the police are telling me that they're arriving and, you know, one guy's leaning against a car because he can't stand up, there's a problem with your bartenders, and I would recommend, I'm not going to require, but I would strongly recommend, and I will take it into consideration if there's another event, if you followed my recommendation, strongly recommend that any bartender standing behind that bar be at least tip certified, if not better trained, in detecting obviously intoxicated patrons. Because if they're out there and they're drinking and this guy is going out and leaning up against his car, guess what? If the police weren't there, he was going to get behind the wheel and probably go kill somebody. So I'm concerned about that, and I want to make sure that your bartenders understand the seriousness. And look, the bottom line is I can only put the financial responsibility on you. So they screw up, you're going to end up paying for it. All right? Your customers screw up, you're going to end up paying for it. All right, with that, I'll make my motion for a 3-day suspension, hold it open 6 months.
I'm going to second it. The one other thing I'd like to say to you is you should program your phone 911. Go back to the bar right now, program your phone 911 and teach your bartenders. The moment something gets out, you said something earlier, and you're right. We did tell you when you came in here and you bought it to call the police, you wouldn't get in trouble. And you wouldn't get, there was no calls. The officer said he took the time to check the CAD system to see if somebody called. I'm not saying that that would have made it any lighter, but it's just as bad when the situation goes from bad to worse. Have the bartender tell him, you don't need to call, don't call me and tell me. Hit that, call 911, get the police here, we'll sort it out after. But at least I won't get myself in trouble for not reporting it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay, I'm going to second the motion. All in favor, say yes.
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 All right.
So 3-day suspension if within 6 months there's another incident? or 3-day
Right.
suspension now.
You've got
No.
a 3-day suspension hanging over your head. If there's anything else in the next 6 months, I'm going to move to impose it, and we'll see what the vote is on
understand.
that. But right now, you don't have, right now, you're not suspended. You do have this hanging over your head. Look, this is a business. You need to run it like a business, which means if you've got problem clients, it's time
Get
to
rid of
fire
them.
your clients.
That's why I've been closing at 1:30 now, and that's what I'm going to continue to do. It just
Okay.
benefits me. Thank you.
You're welcome. Take care. Who's this one here? Lois Haskell.
Catches Smith Pub. That, side two. Commission will now open a hearing on the allegation of misconduct by Acting Superintendent of Police Kenneth LaValle against Catches Mitt Pub, Inc., doing business as Catches Mitt Pub. William E. Hoey is the manager. The all-alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee at 726 Gorham Street, this being sale and service to intoxicated patron.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
Andrew Lewis, I represent Catcher's Mitt Pub.
Okay.
William Hoey, Catcher's Mitt Pub.
Okay. Have you read the complaint, Counselor?
Yes, I have.
Do you want to waive the reading of the complaint?
Have you all read it? Then
Somewhat.
Then I waive the reading.
Okay, would the officer, Captain, would you be kind enough to give just a brief synopsis of the complaint for the viewing public?
Mr. Commissioner, the officer that wrote the report is actually here.
Oh, he
We
is,
wish to
okay.
hear from him.
I'll-
Detective Figueroa, sir.
All right.
Good afternoon, sirs. Felix
Is
Figueroa,
your
Lowell,
mic on?
Felix Figueroa, Lowell, please.
There you go.
Do you want me to read the?
Yes, well,
okay.
you can tell us in your own words.
Okay. On Saturday, 6/23 of 07.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Excuse me. Can you introduce yourself for the record, please?
Felix A. Figueroa, Lowell Police Department.
Okay, go ahead. Thank you.
I'm currently assigned to the Special Investigation Section, and part of our duties is to look into the bars and such. On 6/23/07, approximately 21:03 hours, we were sending in under 21 person to various places throughout the city. The Catcher's Mitt was one of them. We sent this individual into this bar. They were not served. But during this incident, a male was observed exiting the establishment, stumbling out of there and falling at the corner of Chambers Street. A pretty good fall, making us go over there and give him some first aid and ultimately ask for an ambulance.
Okay, let's just, 1 second, please. So you never did actually send the person under 21 into the bar?
Yes, we did.
You did?
Yes.
And they got picked up, they got caught?
They followed protocol.
Yeah.
During this incident, however, is when the male came out of that establishment.
Okay,
and,
did the one under 21 get served?
No, he did.
He didn't?
No.
Excellent.
Excellent.
He did not.
Okay.
And I would suggest that the
Can you talk into the mic, Counselor?
I would suggest that
No,
the
they don't
acting
want him
chief
down
of
there.
police sent the commendation to the Catcher's Mitt for their diligent efforts in preventing underage people from being served. However, in this particular incident, I'm not going to cross-examine the officer because his observations, I suggest to you, were correct.
Okay.
However, his conclusions are not correct.
Okay.
And the reasons for it, I have two witnesses here. I have the individual who fell, and if you want to hear from him,
Yep.
or if you'd rather I just summarize his statement, I'll bring him up and you can hear him make observations on your own. And also the bartender who served this individual.
Let's hear from the individual.
Okay, David Carpenter, will you please come up here? And David, if you could stand right here at the mic.
Hi, my name's David Allen Carpentier, and yes, I fell that night I was supposed to have, I had surgery on my leg and I was supposed to be using a cane and I was under medication. I only got served 2 beers that day, 1 on each shift. Okay?
And what he's referring to is the first shift was earlier on, and the second bartender came on at 6 o'clock, and he had never met this individual before that particular day. Mr. Carpentier had 1 beer with the first shift. He was accompanied by 2 people who took him there for his birthday, which would have been in 2 more days. He had a beer. The bartender that came in at 6 o'clock, at some time shortly after 6, served him another beer. And then, because of his speech pattern, which he was not familiar with, and not on anything that he observed him doing by way of walking, he said, I think I'm going to shut you off. And he remained in the bar for another hour and a half, drinking water and pizza. And the bartender will testify to that. But there are a few additional things. Mr. Carpentier, did you have surgery recently prior to?
Yes, I had it on June 19th.
And what was the surgery?
It was arthroscopic. I'm going in for that knee on the 21st for a knee replacement. And that knee gave out, and the officers must have been right there when my knee gave out, you know. And they did take me to the hospital and stuff. And
are you on certain medications?
Yes, I am.
You take at least 6 antidepressants and medication per day.
Yes, I do.
For a disability problem that you have?
Yes, I do.
And does that affect your speech pattern?
Yes, it does.
And in any event, on that particular day, were you intoxicated?
No, I wasn't. I just went there and I had my 2 beers. And my birthday was June 24th. They took me in on June 23rd. Okay, and
Had you been shut off by the bartender that came on duty that night, that particular day?
Eric said he think I had enough to drink.
And that was based on the way you were talking?
Yes.
Had you ever met that bartender before?
No, that's the first time I met Eric. I know Jessica and Kelly.
Okay. Does the board have any questions?
Nope. Good job.
Thank you, David.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is it necessary to bring the bartender on?
Yep.
I'd like to hear from him.
Sure.
Eric Hill, would you please take the podium? And for purposes of commission, I'll present the drugs that we take.
The what?
The drugs that Mr. Chapman.
No, that's all right. Hey?
Would you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name's Eric. How you doing?
Now, Eric.
Eric, are you tips trained?
Yes, I am.
You are?
Yeah. I have
How
it
long
on
have you
me.
worked at the bar?
What was that?
How long have you worked at
It'll
the
be
bar?
2 years this March.
How many people have you thrown out?
Since I've been working there, I work 10 to 2, so normally we have a doorman.
10 in the morning till
No,
2?
10 at night to 2 o'clock in the morning.
10 to, okay.
I only work there twice a month, so a
Were
lot
you
of
there the
customers
night
I don't
the-
see. Yes, I was.
Were you there the night the sting operation?
I'm the one that
You're the one
spotted
that
this
threw
thing.
him out?
Yes, I did.
Good job.
Thank you.
You can sit down.
That's all I have.
Not a bad case, Counselor. Sounds good. You know? You make a believer out of me. Okay? I think it can happen. I'm going to, you know, my first indication is exactly what you said. I would commend you for catching the tips. I know that, you know, and we've tried to warn all the bars in town that, you know, that there's a new sheriff in town, and these guys are either going to wake up or they're going to be out of business. They're going to be out on the sidewalk looking in. And I'm certain that it very conceivably could have happened that, you know, being on medication, I mean, you know, you tell these guys 1,000 times, and I can think that, you know, everybody here in the whole room thought about it. Probably we've all at one time or another, you know, taken some Advil or what's that cold medicine? Huh? Prozac. No, not Prozac. What's the cold medicine people take? What's the cold? No, not Viagra.
Oh, second.
What's the cold medicine everybody takes?
NyQuil?
NyQuil. And it says right on the bottle, do not drink NyQuil, alcohol with NyQuil. But I'm going to tell you, it gives you a hell of a buzz if you do. So, that being said, it could have happened. And so as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to say I would give you the benefit of the doubt. My esteemed colleague here, I see him.
I'll agree with you. I mean, I'm familiar with the Catcher's Mitt Pub. Without giving away too much, I live in the area. I drive by it on a regular basis, day and evening. Captain, have there been any problems that you're aware of other than this with the Catcher's Mitt?
No, Mr. Commissioner, I would have no problem in following your recommendations.
Okay.
I think he was very lucky that the police officers were there, not being a wise guy, getting hurt like that probably was serious enough. And we try to tell folks, people walk into the bars today, these young kids and whatnot, you have no idea what they've taken before they're going to have a couple of drinks. They might have popped a couple of pills or something, and then they take, 2 or 3 beers and they go bananas. So it very conceivably could have happened. Hopefully we won't see you in here again.
I hope not.
Okay?
Thank you very much, Mr. Bayless. Thank you. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
Next.
Commission will now open the hearing on the applications for lodging house licenses by the James S. Ewlings for premises at 114 Cabot Street and 120 Cabot Street. Mr. Chairman, a public notice was published July 30th, 2007 in the Lowell Sun newspaper.
Both of them are controversial.
Per order of the License Commission, the butters were to be notified by the applicant. Mr. Chairman, Mrs. Ewlings has filed the white postal slips and return receipts of those received regarding the public notice. White postal slips have a date of August 1. Also, the Office of the License Commission had sent notice to 4 property owners directly across the street from 114, 120 Cabot Street, who had communicated to the License Commission in letter several months ago.
Thank you. Introduce yourself for the record, please.
Yes, my name is Richard Fox. I'm an attorney. I represent Scott Ewlings, who is the owner, and his wife, who helps him manage it, Sheila Ewlings.
Okay.
And the presentation...
Bring the mic up so that, you talk. Thank you, Counselor.
The presentation that we'd like to make, we have 12 of our tenants here to explain how they manage it, how they feel safe there, how they always react to any complaints. Mr. Ewlings happens to be a plumber, so most of the repair work, which does not require licenses, he can do. Anything requiring a license, he gets licensed people. When they originally came in for renewal, one of the problems, I understand, dealt with the health department. It's my understanding that that has been cleared up. One of the problems was a dumpster, and they have a dumpster on a property that they own right behind it, which Cabot Street has access to. Other complaints were from the code department, which technically came in May 16th, shortly after they came to see you, and literally went to try to close them down. There was a litany of complaints, and when it turns out there were only 4 or 5 complaints, and we hired an architect per instructions from the building department. The architect went through, listed what had to be done, which they did. The building department also required that the architect do a plan of existing conditions to show all the rooms in both of the units, 114 and 120, which the architect did. The architect also inspected to make sure all the repairs were done. Also, as to the fire department, at one time they received an acceptance by the fire department, then all of a sudden it wasn't accepted, then it was accepted and not accepted. It has been accepted. As to the sprinkler system, they have been tagged. We haven't been able to get a letter, but everything is tagged. In my understanding, that's consistent with what sprinkler system companies do. There was some problems with the tax title, and they met and arrived at an agreement with Mr. McKenna from the city of Lowell. And we feel that we're doing everything that we can. Now, We've noted police reports, and I was given today by my brother, who did give my client most of them, a litany of reports. However, a great majority of these reports emanate from one person who used to live there, Mr. Rivers. There are certain reports relative to criminal activity, and whenever, up to several months ago, Sergeant Trudell was sort of in charge of that neighborhood. He would communicate with the Ewings, who would respond. After Sergeant Trudell left, they've had very little communication from the police department. I think Crystal Downs, an officer, has communicated with them a couple of times, and they've always responded to what Crystal Downs has said. What we're suggesting is, and we're seeking the licenses, we plan to put surveillance cameras in to try to protect the area. That's number one. Number two, we're going to have somebody living on site at 120 Cabot Street in order to,
I'm sorry, you're going to have somebody living there on site?
On site. We be a tenant, be hired by us to watch out and to report to us. Also, Mr. Ewings is there just about, Scott is there just about every day going through.
Yeah, but he doesn't live there.
He does not live there.
Where does he live?
He lives in Westford. But he is there every day, looking it over, making any necessary repairs. I think if you talk to the tenants, you'll find that the Ewings have always been responsive. If we could have gotten Mr. Trudell there, Sergeant Trudell, he would have said they are responsive. Interesting enough, when we were in court, I asked Mr. St. Alea from the building department whether or not in the past that the Ewings had always responded and made repairs, and he said yes, they've always made repairs when we've asked them to, which becomes very interesting when all of a sudden they're hit with a litany of repairs to be done, that they wouldn't make the repairs. Obviously, they would make the repairs and have made the repairs. And we're willing to abide by recommendations on how we can run the place better, but I'm also, there are several people here from the
neighborhood,
from the unit, who would be happy to speak and tell how they are and how safe they feel and how they feel the Ewings have treated them and respond to them. One of the things is the police, if the police would call us if there's a problem, we'll immediately respond to it. I looked at the reports and went over them with the Ewings, and on several of the arrests, the Ewings had either been in the process of evicting the people, or immediately when they found out, they evicted the people. In order to give the 48-hour notice, if there's immoral activity, they have got to be notified by the city or by the authorities in order to do that 48-hour notice. If they're given that notice, then they can do the 48-hour eviction. Without that notice, they have to go through the process, through summary process, which takes time. And we're happy to answer any questions. The Ewings are here to answer questions, and I'm certain some of the tenants would like to speak on their behalf.
Okay, just, just for my own benefit, just the tenants that live in one of the two buildings, just stand. Just stand up. Okay. All right, thank you. Thank you. Okay. Dave, could you come up for a second, please? This is David St. Hilaire. David's the head of inspectional services for the city. Are you the head inspectional service guy?
No, I'm the senior building inspector.
Senior building, okay.
I work directly under the building commissioner, Robert Camacho.
Okay, just, you've been through this building recently?
Yes, I have. What has happened is we've had a number of problems at the property. We've had a number of complaints. We went through the building. We found numerous building code violations. We examined the log that they're supposed to keep for the license commission, and we found entries of one name and an apartment number. It's as though, you just present your first name and you get an apartment. The building was not maintained the way it should. Between December 2nd, 2004 and May of 2007, there were 240 police responses to this address, which is rather excessive. I have a daily crime analysis report here of a drug arrest that was made
Yeah.
there.
I'm more
During-
concerned, I'm going to get into that, Dave. I'm not trying to, cut that part of it. I'm more interested in you telling me, when you say that there were numerous violations, are we talking numerous major violations, or are we talking numerous, a couple of three major and a lot of little things?
We're talking some major things and a lot of little things.
And a lot of little, okay.
These were all photographed.
Right, now, since
And,
you've been through it, have those things been cleaned up?
I've not been back there. I have received the letter that we got from the architect. I received it yesterday. It's out of Paul Davies' office. And it says, as per request of the Lowell Building Department, I've revisited the two adjacent properties, 114 Cabot Street, 120 Cabot Street, and find that the issues noted in the July report have been corrected, and that each property generally meets the requirements of the Mass State Building Code.
Okay, so if they needed an occupancy permit, somebody has to go back again and walk through the whole thing?
What happens is we have to go back and we have to issue a certification of inspection on the Article 1, Section 106.5 of the State
Okay.
Building Code.
And based on what you're reading to me, in your past experience, is it at a point where you would issue such a certificate?
I believe it is.
Okay, thank you, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. All right. Is there anybody here from the fire department? Do you also, are you responsible to make sure the fire department, I'm new at this, Dave. You do the fire department also?
No, I don't, but I have spoken to the fire department, and they have informed me that the place is 100%.
Okay, thank you. Health, Dave, I'm sorry, one more time. If you stay up there, you'll lose a few pounds.
I believe the health department was there yesterday.
Yeah.
And I was not in the office today, so I haven't received a report. But based on the architect's report, their issues should have been
Okay.
addressed also.
I think Mr. Nguyen has a letter from the health department.
Do we?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Weicker, Donald Murphy of the Health Department called the office about 1:30, 2 o'clock this afternoon, stated that 120 Cabot Street passed inspection. I asked him about 114 Cabot, and he informed me that he was not asked to go into 114 Cabot, but he claimed that with the exception of some extension cord matters on several of the units, which apparently Mr. Ewlings may have promptly removed and put back into his vehicle, everything was satisfactory for health at 120 Cabot.
Okay. All right. Before we go any further, I'd like to know, any of the neighbors present, any of the neighbors abutters, just Counselor, if you'd be kind enough just to stand aside a little bit. I'm going to ask the neighbors to come up for this portion of the hearing, okay? And tell me, identify yourself, your name, your home address.
My name is Pierre Decotto. I live at 119 Cabot Street, directly across from 120 Cabot.
Okay.
This is my brother Michael Decotto. He lives in the same house as me.
Okay.
This is my neighbor Dave Willett. He lives, 113 Cabot Street.
All right.
This is Giulio Di Carvalho. He just bought a house at 120 Cabot, 121 Cabot Street.
Okay.
And we're here to oppose him getting the license. And I have some papers here that, letter from Superintendent of Police dated May 2nd, 2007. And at the end, it says, based upon the above information, I would recommend that your commission reject to renew the lease of the two rooming lodging house licenses indicated above. And if you remember, at that time, on May 10th, we came in here for the hearing, but we didn't need to speak because he had not renewed his license and he had not paid the appropriate fees, so we were not asked to speak. And, everything that I said before, and I found an article, it's from October 2000, And it was here that I was with my neighbors, different neighbors. Mr. Willett was here, my brother was here. It says, Lowell landlord to boot bad tenants. And you, Mr. Bayless, made a recommendation that the landlord lived in Westford and there wasn't enough people managing his buildings, even though he had an on-site manager at that time. And your recommendation was for him to adhere to the rooming house codes of having people signing in and out and having two separate managers, one for 114 and one for 120 Cabot Street. And there's also 120 rear in the back. And to this day, you know, there's still active drug dealing. I've worked with, you know, Superintendent LaValle, Superintendent Captain Stavely, Captain DeMora, and trying to resolve this problem. And it's just ongoing. You know, I've been living there for most of my life, and since they bought it, and the father-in-law before that, Mr. Papora, it's just been nothing but trouble. You know, even last night, somebody moving in at 10:30 at night, sneaking in through the back alley with garbage bags full of clothes, people whistling up to let them in to sleep there or to get drugs, prostitutes in the parking lot. You know, it's just never ending. The other day, last week, 3 young girls were yelling up for somebody to let them in. Nobody would let them in. One of them had to urinate. She pulled down her pants right in front of 120 Cabot, started urinating. About a month ago before that, I'm looking out the window and I see some girl on the front porch of 120 having sex with a guy, you know, obvious to the public. And, you know, it's just, we're just tired of appearing before this license commission over and over again, and nothing yet resolved. He says he's going to resolve the problems, but he doesn't do it, and it's never been done.
Okay.
And there's also a fact that the rooming house also has apartments, and if you look in a police log for in the past, let's say 6 months or so, or maybe a year, there's been children living in some of those apartments as part of the rooming house, and there's also been sex offenders living there. There was 3 known sex offenders that we found in the sex offender registry that were living there with children in the same building.
Okay.
And I believe they have something.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name's Dave Willett. I'm here as a resident at 113 Cabot. 113 Cabot, and also president of Pastime Club in Lowell. Yes, it's like Peter said, it's just been an ongoing situation for many years. There are some very good tenants there. I know some of the tenants, I talk with them, and there are some good people. But he does not monitor who's coming in, and he doesn't work with the tenants at all. He'll walk right through them when there's drug deals going on. He just, not a good property owner. He said he works with the police, but he always does it after, never beforehand. And pretty much it's all been stated before anyways, and it just be repetition. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Yes, sir.
I'm Julio Carvalho. I'm a teacher, teach both high school and college. Have been there since December, and some of those tenants I have met in the past, they were fairly respectful towards me. I have to acknowledge that. So, although 2 days after we purchased the house, I asked one of them who is here, I needed a number for the landlord, and he asked me to go around to get it, and I called the landlord to express some concerns. It was, I think, around on December 27th, 28th, and then, of course, he didn't call me back. I was not able to tell him what was happening, which was someone approaching me in a very indecent manner, and I was there with I have 3 boys, 1 year old, 2 years old, and 13 years old with my family. Also, at night, there have been several fights, and then every day there's a police car and fire, and my father-in-law, who just moved from Cape Verde Islands, asked me if the place is a hospital or why, because there's every day there's an ambulance, so forth. I think this is, in my opinion, you need to have a kind of control at that property, because there is no control whatsoever. That's the major problem I would like to state as of now.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in. Anybody else to speak in opposition? In opposition? In opposition. That portion of the hearing's closed. Okay.
I wonder if we could ask a couple of the tenants.
If you go to the mics, Counselor. If you'd speak into the mic,
I
please.
wonder if we could have a couple of the tenants speak. Also, in response to what the gentleman said, we looked at the arrest reports. There were no arrest reports on prostitution. As to sex offenders, I think there were a couple of level 2s. They do have a right to live in areas, and I'm wondering if you would hear from a couple of the tenants to have them explain what they've observed living there, because a lot of what the complaints are about people who do not live there. And
I understand. I can
We'll
understand.
be happy to hear from the tenants.
Pardon me?
We'll be happy to hear
Yep.
from the tenants. Go ahead and call your first one.
Would you state your name, please?
My name is Larry Carter. I live at 114 Cabot Street. I work at the Lowell Transitional Living Center as a direct care worker with the homeless. All right, I live at 114. I've been there now for a little over a year. The allegations that some of the neighbors are making in regards to police coming down and incidents taking place, the tenants living in the building are not involved with those. We can't control people coming down from outside and what they do. We can't control their behavior. However, the people who live there, that's not what's going on. Any problems that we've had in that building, all right, this man has gotten rid of those people, and he did it swiftly. Once he found out who was doing certain things, they were gone. There has not been any problems in that building for the past couple of months that I know of. All right. Like I said, the prostitution and stuff, we can't control that. They're coming down the street. We can't control any of that. But we know within the building that the neighbors, we're friendly with each other. We feel safe there. There are no problems within the building. And as far as there has not been no police or anything involved in quite some time. In fact, the last time I recall the police or fire department coming down was Saturday, and that was for their building because a man had called them. They used to live in our building.
Okay. But
Okay.
why, in your arrest, you've been there how long?
I've been there a little over a year, sir.
A little over a year. Why do you think they all come down there?
Excuse me?
Why do you think that has become...
I think at one point we did have people who were attracted in that crowd, but once he found out who they were, he got rid of them. So they don't come down there no more.
Okay. All right.
And as far as any fixtures in the building, every time I've had a problem, once I call him, he got it done that day or the next day it was done. So he's worked. I see him about every day down there doing something in the building.
Okay.
Okay? All right, thank you, sir.
Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, council member. My name is Samuel Santiago, and this is the second time I've lived in Scott's building. He's always kept them very clean. Everything is fixed. As far as for the trafficking and stuff, you got to take the point of being which street you living on. You live by Adams Street. That goes on everywhere. There's people, bad people, good people. Some people lie to him, say they're legit, and they do other things. It's not his fault. He trusts his people. He gives everybody a chance. He's the best landlord I ever had. And as far as for the trafficking, that happens all over that block. I lived there all my life. If you're gonna close down that building, might as well close down the whole world. There's always good and bad. But the tenants that live there are very good tenants. I get a pension, some of them work. We pay our rent, we don't do nothing illegal. We just have our home. That's where we live. We keep it legit, can't do nothing else. Can't do nothing about the people that come in and lie to the gentleman. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Okay, well, can you answer me a question? You said it keeps it nice and clean and everything. Who keeps it clean?
Oh, the bathrooms are very nice and
Okay,
clean. Always
who keeps-
very. He has a person that does that for him.
He has a person, okay.
Yeah, very nice and clean.
Yeah.
I go to the bathroom, I don't have to worry. Ooh, I don't want to go in that bathroom. Very nice and neat.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else want to speak in favor?
Could I say one thing?
Certainly you can.
I'm sorry. Just an answer as to why they come down into that area?
Yeah.
Okay, a little shorter. 114 Cabot Street has a side yard which goes around into the back. It's grassed, it has trees. We have numerous accounts there of people that have come down from Merrimack Street. They run down there being chased, they run into that yard. They can then exit over onto Austin. At one point, we had locked the gate to keep people that didn't belong there. David informed us that we couldn't do that because people might not be able to get through the gate, assuming that it was going to open if there was a fire. There's a parking lot at the end. We have a parking lot at the end of 120 that connects to a parking lot at Austin. And there is a traffic line that comes down from the corner, down the sidewalks, and cuts over there. So, not to say that's everyone that's coming down. That is where they're coming from the corner of Merrimack and Cabot, running down, and it's the only green grassed area that they can tuck in behind buildings. And there have been numerous arrests there of people, and the police even have stated that none of them live there. And it is posted for no trespassing, so.
And why can't you lock the fence?
David?
It's the egress path for public right of way. They had a chain and a padlock around the gate, so if there's a fire, they could actually traffic the
Okay.
I'm not sure on that. I mean, I would love to put a 6-foot fence there so no one could get in with a gate only to the building, but he has stated that we need to leave that open.
Hi, my name is Johnny Velez Gonzalez, and I've lived on Scott's premises for about 6 months, and I know that he keeps them clean. He also sometimes has asked me to help him. I paint. I work for California Products. I've worked there for 7 years, and you know, he keeps his place clean. It's true that there's good and bad people everywhere, you know, and like the other people have spoken, he has gotten rid of a lot of bad seats, you know, and I also bring my children there because I'm a divorced parent, and I bring my kids to be with me sometimes on the weekend, and I feel safe there. And also, there's people that bring a lot of complaints here, but there's people that have dogs that at night they bark all night. And, you know, why don't we complain about that also?
A lot of people do.
Yeah, well, this is another thing, you know, and I'm very content with Scott and his wife because they do take care of the place. And if I clean my bathroom myself too,
Yep.
you know, to help out, because everybody has to help, you know, to make the society better, you know. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Nancy Colon. I lived in 120 Cabot Street for 3 years and a half. I got 2 kids. They're grown up, no babies there, as they say, there's little kids. I understand that they say that. We got a lot of single guys there that do have kids, and they do come over on weekends to visit. About the prostitute hanging around the street, I don't consider myself a prostitute, or my daughter.
Okay,
or
ma'am.
I'm sorry, but
Talk to
you know,
the mic.
that offended me.
Yeah, I'm sure it did.
I got a 19-year-old daughter, and I don't think she saw herself in the street.
Yeah.
The building is clean, and yes, we do call the cops, and when there's problems around, that's why there's reports. Why they're using that against him, I do not understand.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. This is Ruben Correa. He doesn't speak much English. He wants me to talk for him.
Dile que yo llevo allí 7 años como de customer, que soy muy bueno lander, que ahora mismo está todo en orden, que no hay problema ninguno, que yo lo estoy viendo y ha dado un cambio bueno a todo.
He's been there 6 years, living with Scott off and on. Yeah, the building's been bad before, but he has cleaned it out like they told him he had to. The building is nice and quiet now. You know, that I don't understand why they're trying to keep on holding the license for the rooms. Because half of them are even empty right now. You
Okay.
know, the only ones right now living there is like the ones that have apartment completely, because he had to evacuate all the rooms.
Okay.
Then in the other side, on 114, he has 2 people there so they could keep an eye on the building, because he's scared they might go and turn on fires, because since he had to get rid of a lot of people there.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, that's enough. We you know.
My name is John Purpura. These are my daughter-in-law. And one of the things that I've noted, I've offered to help them now go back and help manage the building. But throughout the whole city of Lowell, there's neighborhood watchers. And I think part of the failure here is in these people know Scott's truck, they know him, and these are neighbors, and if they're trying to help as they're trying to help, they should communicate with him. They say they see him every day. I think very few of them could deny that they don't see his truck frequently. But Officer Trudell used to inform them. There was a communication link that kept things going very smoothly. But these are neighbors that have been there for 6 months, 8 months, and years. They all know him. They would know his voice in the dark. All they have to do is say, Scott, we seen somebody come out of 114 the other day that looked like a problem. It's a communication problem, not from his part, because he can't go over every day and say, did you see anything last night? Did you see anything? They have to speak up. He's not a person who's not able to communicate with them. All they do is say, we've seen a problem. Is it somebody in your building? I mean, somebody having sex in the porch, maybe neither one was never a resident. Nobody ever established that. I mean, they found a body below these stairs a number of years ago. Well, what does that mean? The city hall's bad? That somebody in City Hall killed him? No. And somebody urinating on the front lawn, was it a resident? I mean, that could happen on Merrimack Street. It could happen anywhere in the city. I really think it's only a communication problem that needs to be established between the people who have the offense, rather than writing the letter saying, Scott, they don't have to call him Mr. Hewlin, Scott, we saw something last night, can you deal with it? And I'll tell you what, I know he'll deal with it. I've given him suggestions for changing now in some of the surveillance in the building and monitoring it in a different manner than they've been doing. And I just think it's a communication problem. It's the only problem. There are a lot of people that don't have a lot of money and they can't live anyplace else. I mean, that's the facts of life. I mean, the rooming house SORs, single SROs, are 110%. They need 110% more than what they have. There's a lack of them. And that's why these suites, what are the Quality Inns and all these have these suites now, because people can't afford rent. And people who are on Social Security, which a lot of these people are, that's all they can afford. They can't afford anything more. And from what Mr. St. Hilaire said, the city's objective is to shut them all down. He said that on 2 or 3 occasions. And I've asked my lawyer, their lawyer, was that the city council's recommendation? Was it the licensing board that wants to shut them all down? Was that the building commissioner's edict to shut all the rooming houses down? Now, this has happened on 4 different occasions. He's made that statement. And I'm saying, who is trying to shut them down? Is it you people from the licensing board have made an edict to shut all the rooming houses? I mean, there's probably 700 or 800 rooms in the city. To put them out of business is really an injustice and not fair. And my whole premise is that it's a communication problem and needs to be reestablished. And I think that would resolve the whole problem.
Okay. Yes, Dave.
Answering Mr. Purpura, this building has been a problem for a long time. I've had a number of conversations with Mr. Purpura and Mr. Ewing. They explained to me that nobody communicates with them and tells them what the problem is. On June 27th, 2007, I sent him a certified letter to his home in Westford, stating that his property was being used for illegal purposes. I have the letters here. They come back unclaimed. They don't want to hear what the problems are there. They have extremely poor management. And this is what caused the building to fall into disrepair. It's the extremely poor management with the log that's incomplete. It's extremely poor management, not having the building in condition to be certified by the building department, the health department, and the fire department on time. I don't know what happened here. We've never had a problem with Mr. Purpura before, or Mr. Hewling. But lately, this building has extremely poor management. It's as though for the past couple of years, they don't care. And when you send them certified letters notifying of problems in the building, they come back unclaimed.
Thank you. You want to stop?
Excuse me.
You want to go first? Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, one more time.
No, that's okay.
I'm the mail collector in my home. I did not ignore any certified letter on, I'm not sure, you're saying June 27th or July 27th? June 27th. I'm going to assume that is when you were posting the building? Anyway, I did not refuse to receive a letter. I get quite a few. I have tenants that send them certified. I certainly wouldn't refuse something that might be cash coming in the mail to me. As far as the inspections, we had everyone from inspectional services, health department, fire department on our property in April. They all said that we were okay and they would be notifying Ryan Wynn. On May 15th, when David asked them to come back, is when they found things that need to be repaired. So we were not negligent in repairs and getting things up to code. We were told by Bob Camacho that we needed now to have the engineer come in and certify. We've done that. It was our understanding, as long as we started doing that right away, that things would be taken care of. A few days later, they posted the building for them to be out in 24 hours. So we've moved ahead as quickly as we could and have met all those obligations now.
Okay. Counselor.
Thank you. Again, originally we were here in May, and it was a question of not having the permits before or the requisite permissions from health, building, and fire. In going and reviewing this, we have been in housing court. There was an agreement reached until we could come here before you today. It does appear that the building, fire, and health issues are being reached. However, the issue is whether or not to issue a lodging house. In preparing the documents, I would agree with David St. Hilaire that there's a management issue, that, breakdown of the calls. I got all the CAD reports. I believe all of it, you have a copy before you. I'd given a copy to council of all police reports except two, or to his client last week, and earlier this week gave them a copy of all the CAD reports. Out of 176 calls, 88 are probably ones that the License Commission could be concerned of. I broke down that some were responding to a false fire alarm, but I gave you a breakdown in number one, and there are 88 calls that I would consider to be noteworthy. I don't think this is a communication issue or solely a communication issue, as Mr. Perpa has said. When you go through the list of calls and all the information, this isn't just an unwanted guest problems. These are tenants committing crimes. These are tenants being victims of crimes. These are tenants who enable, with respect to Mr. Carter, the records show that he was robbed on March 12th, 2007, because he let someone into the building who I doubt was registered, who ended up taking stuff from his apartment. Clearly, he shouldn't be allowing anyone who's going to be there needs to register. If they had screening process, they would have found out that the person who went in with him had outstanding warrants, including one for assault with intent to murder. She had 6 outstanding warrants at that time. In going through the medical or the calls, the CAD calls, there are numerous calls for people being down, overdoses. There are certain people who seem to pop up. One woman in particular who's never a resident there, but she seems to pop up at least 3 different times. With regards to evicting bad clients, there's one individual who has at least 3 or 4 names who was arrested for selling drugs there to a tenant on November 20th. 6 months later, he's still living at that address. There are numerous problems with how the place is being run. One of the issues is, based on the law, there's probably always going to be a lodging house there. There's no vehicle to, I disagree with Mr. Perpa's statement saying the city's trying to shut down lodging house licenses. There's no vehicle for the city to do that based on the law. What you can do is deny a license based on the management of an individual. But to say that there's not going to be a lodging house there, there probably will be, just based on how the law is. But what seems to be is there's a management issue, and whether it's the Hullings or whoever comes after them have to address, it would be security. There needs to be better security because people are coming in the building who shouldn't be in the building at all. The tenants need to be held responsible because they're letting in some of these people. There needs to be security at the establishment. They need to do a job of screening. I don't know if there's any screening being done because a lot of people, you can keep out people if you do screening process. I don't know if that's being done, but clearly that's something that should be done. But when you go through and look at the breadth of evidence, the breadth of documents, that this isn't a communication issue, this is a management issue.
Thank you.
May I say another thing? I would just like to respond to that a lot of those arrests were for warrants, outstanding warrants. I spoke with the police department and asked if it was possible to do a query check on prospective tenants, and you cannot do that in this city as a landlord. I then was referred to the district court and spoke with them because the police department said that's who I should call. I called the clerk at the district court. They told me I needed to call probation. I called probation and they said absolutely not. I did not have the right to ask that, even if I was to pay for it and they were to agree for that. They had me go back to the clerk at the courts and ask if it was possible for me to pay to get warrant or criminal record information on someone with a social security number with their permission, and they said no, I did not have that right. I do not know who comes to that building with 5 outstanding warrants from, I don't care if it's 10 years ago or 6 months prior, I don't have that information unless I'm told by the police. In regards to the communication, I have to argue that a little. Like I said in the past, if there was someone there that was a problem and the police knew that, they would call and let us know that. We haven't heard from anyone.
Yeah, but see, I'm not going to get into it.
I'm not throwing it back at them.
You see, you're trying to sit there and say, well, this is a police problem.
No.
They should call us. Just one idea, and then I'm not going to get into it right now with you, but just one idea. If you had a resident manager in each building, somebody that you had in that building, that was the resident manager, you told all these people, you press the buzzer and let somebody in you don't know, you don't live here anymore. It's that simple.
Right.
But you need somebody on site to enforce that. You can't be living in Westford and expect that the police are going to be the ones that are going to do that type of thing. That's part of running a business.
I understand that.
I'm not going to put the burden on the police department to contact you and let you know if an incident happened at your property. You're the property manager.
Okay, but as far as outstanding warrants, he was addressing warrants.
And I think, counsel, you can address that a little more clearly. I'm going to also state for the record, you can't get legal advice from the probation department. You should speak to your lawyer about how to go about running a query on individuals. You can deny people housing based on queries. It is legal in the state. And counsel?
That's what I was going to say, that essentially, it's a management issue that, I've never owned property, I've never done anything, but if you Google some information, you'll come up with tenant screening, and obviously it is illegal for the Lowell Police Department or the Lowell District Court to provide the Hullings with any information. They need to talk to the query board, and through council they can get access. There are 2 ways to get access. They can petition to get unlimited access, which is what the License Commission has with respect to certain things, or for $25, anyone can research anyone. But there are numerous things that you can do involving tenant screening that are perfectly allowable, and that's something, again, to me, that's a management issue.
Right. There are numerous devices out there for running background checks on people. You can run a background check on who your daughter's dating, and you can do that online for about $15 to find out whether or not, a prospective tenant has an assault with attempt to murder warrant hanging over their head. Is a lot easier to do, actually. And you can work with your counsel, but there are ways that you can get a query on somebody, and they'll fill you in on the background, and if you deny somebody housing, there are certain requirements. Your counsel can fill you in on that. But no, you can't say,
Where would we
I
find
couldn't
that
find this out.
information? Because
you talk to your counsel can give you that advice.
I spoke with the police department on it, but...
The police department cannot give you a query on an individual.
Okay, thank you.
As of 2 years, I'm the vice president of the landlords group in Lowell for 3 years. Approximately 2 or 2.5 years ago, that was changed. The only ones that's authorized in landlord is Lowell Housing in this city to go in and get a query report. A regular landlord cannot do that.
And where are you going in to get these?
The Lowell Housing is allowed to do that.
Okay. You're trying to get them.
But as a regular landlord in the city, whether it be Mr. Saab or anybody else, they are not authorized to go in and get query reports on tenants. They do take 14 to 21 days also to get. So when people are looking for a room, they usually need them in a few days, and you can't wait 14 to 21 days to allow them to do it. Lowell Housing is the only one I know of.
Let me stop you right there. You say you can't wait 14 days. That's a management decision.
No, to get the report back, 14 to 21.
That's a
but
management decision.
They can't do it. They're not authorized to do it by law.
Excuse me, one more thing. I don't want to argue either over whose job it is or what needs to be done. I've talked and worked with all the boards here in the last few weeks. The buildings are up to code 100%, as David has stated, the fire department has stated. They'd like to see a change in the management. I'm agreeing with that. We'd like to put in office. We want surveillance equipment. I would like to have a probational period. I've been managing there for 21 years, and I would like to have a period of time that I can have a shot to make you happy with what's going on down there and communicate with the police department a little more, since I don't know anyone that's there right now. And I'm not putting it on them, but I do feel that if there's people from up the street that we should still be able to call. Hopefully with some cameras and possibly some fencing changes and things down there that we can keep some of the outsiders out and deal with what we have there. Thank you.
Can I say something, please?
Please.
I don't think the problem is with the background check, because that's not going to solve, in my opinion, although I truly feel and believe that the property is not managed accordingly. That's the problem. And then also, I would like to very respectfully disagree with the gentleman who said that there's a lack of communication. When I moved there after day 3, I called the gentleman, and the gentleman, the one back there, showed me the number. The back of the house, I got it, and I called them. He never called me back. So here is not, we're not, and then he also said, these people, they make very little money, so they have no place else to go. Well, it's better to be in a very different place than the place might be killed, in this case, but that's not the issue. The issue is that the property is mismanaged. It's obvious. That's why we are all here, and with all the complaints you have received. That's all we're trying to address, in my opinion.
Well, as the solicitor said, the property is zoned for a rooming house. I'm listening to both sides of the issue, and I've always been somewhat of a believer in you're better to work with the devil you know than the devil you don't know. I personally feel that 90% of it is a management problem. We have sat here at various times and granted liquor licenses to establishments. And as sure as I've walked out that door, I could have put money, good hard-earned money, and I'm not a gambler, but I could have put money and said, they won't be around in 90 days. They won't be around in 6 months. Because you could tell just by the way the new owners were taking over, they were not addressing the issues. What has happened with the rooming house, I think, is you have tolerated this all this time. You go home to Westford at night. Little by little, different things happen on the property. No, everybody's not going to come to you the next morning and say, you know, this guy was letting the women in the back door, and they brought this, there was a guy down here said, yeah, you know, it's like, you know, running a bar. Hey, you know, I gave the guy a drink, you know. So what's one drink? But the next time, he wants that much more. And so it becomes a cancer. And that cancer eats away. And that cancer is what destroys the business. Not necessarily that you did it or that they did it. It's the fact that little by little it erodes. The gentleman called you. I'm sure he did. 3 days he lived there. He's got a problem. He makes a call. I think if I was his wife, I would have probably said, you know, where'd you put the for sale sign? Because we're not staying here. These people own a house. I'm not trying to take anything away from your tenants. But they don't have an investment in the community that the neighbors have. They live there. They pay big dollar taxes. You go home to a home in West. Do you live in a tenement house in Westford? No. No. Okay? They do. They do. And that is a business for you. That's a business. You know, it's nice to have your tenants get up and say, oh, they keep the place clean and they're very responsive. But you know what? You ought to be. It's your business. That's what they're paying you for. They're not paying you there to to let the place fall down and collapse around them. They're paying you to take care of them. They're there. I mean, your father just said it. It's a service you provide. And they need a place to stay. And I'm glad to hear that you do take care of them. But you got to carry that do take care of them a step further. You got to look at this total problem. Just like the guy before who said, well, they went out the door, the woman fell on the sidewalk. I mean, here's everybody else saying that she was bleeding, split her eye open, but he never saw it. Everybody else did. Everybody else that was there did. These people that you go home at night, they live with what happens in that apartment house and what happens in that apartment house in the back. I can't force you to. I would say you need a resident manager. You need somebody to make sure they sign the book when they're coming and going. Because there's only going to be one fire in this city. There's only going to be one fire in this city where the firemen show up and they don't have a ledger to know who's in the building and who's out. And that will, whether the law department or the city founding fathers or anybody, that'll be the end of rooming houses as far as I'm concerned. Because that is a dangerous, dangerous thing. You're playing with people's lives. To have a manager to know who's pressing that buzzer, who's letting these people in the building that are robbing other people. They're paying you their hard-earned money. So, as I said earlier, I believe in the devil I know as opposed to the devil I don't know. I'm going to turn it over to Commissioner Weicker.
My biggest concern is with the lack of supervision of what's going on in that, in these buildings. I mean, this is not just a few police reports. They really all tend to revolve around drugs. I mean, you've got people in there with digital scales packaging heroin. There's no supervision in those buildings. You can't tell me that there's somebody supervising it if you've got active drug dealing going on out of the buildings. All right, if there's nobody there supervising it, then it doesn't need to be operating as far as I'm concerned. So, I mean, one of the things that we will talk about is whether or not we're going to have a full-time residential individual who is responsible for each and every person that comes into that building and each and every item that comes into that building with that person. And if that person's not willing to sign off and saying, I'm responsible for any drugs that this person might be bringing in, then maybe they shouldn't be the manager. We've got a real problem here. You've got heroin dealers running out of your business, running out of your premises. If this were any other state, they would have brought a civil forfeiture action against you, taken the housing, sold it at auction, and evicted everybody. All right? A lot of other states do that. Under federal law, if the feds want to come in and do that, they can too. It's an instrumentality of crime if it's being used as a criminal enterprise. And if you're letting it happen, if you don't have somebody in there shutting it down, I mean, I'm not feeling a lot of sympathy when there are digital scales and people packaging drugs in these rooms. Be honest, I want some time to think about this one.
Okay. I think security cameras are a must. I think a resident manager in each one of the buildings, somebody that can be responsible when you go home at night, is an absolute must. What else needs to be done?
I mean, I would say that your security cameras would need to cover all of your hallways, your porches, the parking lots, the yards. They should be digital and recordable and readily available to the police.
Do you have a payphone in those buildings? How do they get a hold of you if something goes wrong?
They all have cell phones.
Huh?
Cell phones?
How many people here that are residents there have cell phones?
Yeah.
Most.
I mean, I'll believe that. I mean, I don't have a home phone. I use a cell phone. I'm never home.
Well, I'm just thinking about people being in the building, wanting to be able to make a call.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's also or Nancy that has had a phone they can use.
Do all of these people have your home number?
It has always been posted at the front door of both buildings.
Excuse me?
It's posted next to the license at the front door of both buildings.
Your phone number's on, is posted on the license?
No, next to
At
it.
the front door.
8x10 frame.
Oh, okay. Maybe it would be better to put it on a card.
All right, I would
Put it on a
also,
little card and give it to everybody. This is my home number. Something goes wrong, call me.
I mean, there's got to be, I'm venting now. I'll be honest, if I were wearing a different hat, I'd have shut the place down by now. I'd have brought it in for a civil forfeiture action. And to be honest, I mean, it would be like herding cats, rounding people up. I mean, what's going on there? I mean, you got people driving in from out of state to purchase drugs there. All right? And nobody who lives in that neighborhood should have to put up with that. All right? They're not driving in to purchase drugs around there. They're going into the addresses at Cabot Street. They're going into 114 and 120.
They know where to go.
Okay? They're not, happen to be in Merrimack Street. And yeah, I heard the excuse that there are good people and bad people everywhere. Hey, great. But this is a business, and part of the business is to clean it up and get rid of the bad people everywhere. We don't tolerate it. We don't have to put up with it. And you know what? We start getting rid of them, and we don't have to worry about everything else that comes along with the related crime, for the break-ins, the carjackings, the stolen stereos, and whatever may come along, the people throwing fence posts through other people's windows and assaulting, residents across the street. And, I understand, counsel, you believe that they're, the level 2 sex offenders. I wouldn't want to live in the neighborhood with them, for what that's worth.
Just
I
a
think
thought,
there
an
needs to be
idea
some
might-
more management on that.
Well, I thought idea might be start a crime watch. Maybe you could sponsor it. Maybe you could get some of the neighbors and some of your tenants to volunteer to walk around. You gotta do something to change the traffic pattern in the area. Okay, and I blame you for it because they know where to go. They know that address. And that's what you've got to change, is that address. And I don't know exactly how you're going to do that, but you've got to do it.
All right, I'm not prepared to make a decision on this today.
Well, why don't we give them 6 months? Can we grant them a license for say 6 months, review it 90 days, and then 90 days again? They wouldn't have to keep paying the fee, just have a review set into it.
I believe you could have the license for a year, and you could just have 90-day review period, or you could, you could set conditions as to what you want the license to have. You could have a review period. Whether you could issue it for 90 days, I suppose you could. I don't see any reason why you couldn't. But I don't see the difference between issuing it and having it on probation and reviewing it every 90 days versus.
We currently.
We don't have one. That's something we want to know.
What I'm saying, you currently have an agreement in place where they'll continue operating while this license application is pending?
No.
Or what's the status on that?
The status was we were in housing court maybe a week ago Monday, and 3 tenants had brought, David St. Hilaire had brought building code violations against Mr. Hullings. 3 tenants had brought injunctions against the city and Mr. Hullings. The city, I was preparing to file an injunction against the Hullings as well as taking out criminal complaints. However, being all there, we sat down and tried to work out an agreement, and the agreement was they're there till August 20th because we would be in here on August 9th. From speaking, the building commissioner and David St. Hilaire were present, and from talking about it and working as to getting their architect, the general consensus was the building, fire, and health issues were not immediately life-threatening. However, they were correctable and would need to be corrected, and they probably could be corrected by the time the 20th rolls around, which sounds like it's going to happen, and I know it was very close. Last I heard, there was one thing on fire on the sprinkler system, and I haven't heard back, but everything seems to be appearing that all of that will be taken care of. The issue is then whether or not a license, a lodging house license would issue, which struck me as, again, given the issues with management, whether or not that would happen. We're due back in court on the 20th as to whether or not the tenants could stay. Certainly, if you wanted to put this over to September 6th, if you wanted to think about it and address what you wanted to do on that date, we would, on the 20th in court, we would probably just extend it to a week or two after that. They meet every Monday, every Monday in Lowell Superior. We put it on a date for after that, and if the license issued at that point, I believe the agreement would lift, or if it hadn't issued, if the license was denied, at that point the city would take whatever steps it needed to do, and everyone else could take whatever steps they would need to do. But the point was to find out what the status with the license was, and it's only until August 20th that it's in effect to right now.
So
All right, then I'll make a motion that we're going to hold this over, or hold it over until September 6th for a review. I will want to hear from the property owners as to what management steps have been taken and put in place by that date in order to correct some of these deficiencies. What background checks have been done with respect to the tenants, what steps have been taken to get rid of any tenants who appear to have these drug issues that seem to be luring some of the problems into the neighborhood. I want to know what kind of security measures are going to be in place.
As of right now, like 114 has just about been emptied out because they were told that they were going to be fined $1,000 a day to stay there. I don't like to have it sit empty. I really can't afford to have it sit empty. If I have someone that gets in there, am I able to put in tenants, or can I not put in any tenants?
I would leave it up to you. The actual agreement was whoever was in there on that date could stay, but other than that, the status quo would remain. So we would need to address that if you're comfortable. I mean, again, I would leave it up to you, but whatever obviously the License Commission does here will be incorporated when we go back to Housing Court. But right now, the last time we were in was whoever's there can stay and no new people move in until this thing gets resolved. That was what the agreement was in Housing Court.
Right. Brian, the only thing I wanted to address on that is when they received the notice on their door that they would be fined, a lot of them contacted the City Hall and were told that they could stay there and didn't need to pay any rent. And that is part of the reason that we have the lawsuits coming. So I have people that are there now that to tell you the truth, if I had a person with a problem, I wouldn't be able to take care of it because they're being told that they can sit there and stay there without paying any money until this is all settled. I can't put anyone in. I have good people that, they don't want to sit around and wait for the last moment and be put out, and I did just lose 2 more in the last 2 weeks. So I don't know if a percentage, or if I could put a few people in, or if I have someone that goes in that's going to be living there as a resident manager, can I put them in, or do I need to check with someone? Something.
I mean, I don't think I have a problem with resident managers being put in even during this interim period.
If the building's got everything in place.
Right.
They get the health and fire and everything, then they put a resident manager in, have no problem renting rooms. Because I think they need to go through a probation period to
Okay.
figure out. Okay, and then as
Should I
soon as
ask
you get
that?
back here, September, that's a quick time.
And it's a month to get everything in place.
October. Give them a month.
2 months.
Excuse me? Is it possible to have a 60-day?
Excuse me?
Would it be possible to have a license issue with a 60-day review?
That's just what I'm.
So that you get it in quick?
That's what I'm talking about.
It's actually what
What's
we're
the first,
discussing at the
October?
moment.
That's it.
Want to go with the 4th in October?
All right.
Okay. All right. See, we don't want to go back. And I'm telling you very, very honestly, okay? I don't want to go back where we start at square one again. So we're going to give you a temporary license, provided the building's got health, fire, the building code, everything, and a resident manager. Now, our first meeting in October is October 4th? 4th. Okay, in October 4th, I expect you back with a list of everything you've done to that point. You have the suggestions that we've given you, cameras, you know, just the, like I say, just the idea of a crime watch, you know, it's not going to cost you a lot of money. You got yourself up. It's a, you know, you got to remember, you've got a business here. This is a business. You're not giving the rooms away. You need to rent them in order to make money. So when you have a business, you make an investment to protect your business. That's all this is. Resident manager, cameras, maybe some type. And I don't know, Dave, if there's any way that they might get with you to talk about some way of fencing that area off that she's talking about to... Did he tell you that? He never told you that?
I would love to have something like that.
But he never told you that before?
No, no.
No? Okay, Dave, when you get...
I would love to work with Dave and
All
work
right.
that out.
When you get a chance, tell him about the gate. Let's get the gate put up. All right? We expect you back here October 6th.
4th.
4th, excuse me. And with a report. I'd like to get the report in advance, if possible, if you deliver it to the office. Brian might be able to get us a copy out, and I'll wander around the neighborhood.
Thank you.
And, you know, the decision's yours. Yeah, the neighbors have to understand that it's zoned for a boarding house. So it's going to be, I doubt very much that we could get somebody that would buy it and that would convert it into apartments. I mean, permanent apartments. But that being said, I don't know that we'd have to go too far to find a better manager right now. I hope you're going to make a liar out of me. Okay? I'll put that in the form of a motion.
All right, I'll second that motion. Continue it to October 4th.
October 4th.
Submit to us your list of what you've got done prior to that meeting, okay?
Okay? Thank you. Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Thank you for coming in, folks.
And
we appreciate it.
I will say that...
We listen to you. We want you to understand that this is participation in government. And we need, to the homeowners, I say thank you. Keep your eyes and ears. Get his phone number.
And if you have issues, please come back in on that day. We'll continue to hear it.
I called him on such and such a day and such and he never returned my call. I want to know. If he don't return your calls, don't worry about it.
Good, thank you.
Yeah.
One brought up in this area of my life. I grew up in a project on the Adams Street. The only thing we're concerned with is I have a wife and 3 kids. And there's some horrible, horrible stuff that happens in the property constantly. You know, walking up at 2 o'clock in the morning, all
Next on the agenda.
Commission will now open the hearing on the used car dealer license number 716-B, granted and issued to Johnny Gonzalez and Jose A. Gonzalez for premises at 147 Cambridge Street, an open lot approximately 3,100 square feet, an office approximately 270 square feet, auto repair shop approximately 630 square feet for the calendar year 2007. The license would be expiring January 1, 2008. Subject to the condition that there would be a maximum number of vehicles for sale and storage as 10 per license commission. The licensee, Gonzalez Brothers, had a lease with Bond Properties LLC, Brian Bond manager, for said premises. The lease expired on July 31, 2007. The License Commission will consider the cancellation of said license per request of the property owner manager or an application for change of location by Johnny and Jose Gonzalez.
Introduce yourself for the record.
Jose Gonzalez from JG Auto Sales.
Okay. This is kind of simple, John.
I'll start off. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm going to start off and ask, are you here to apply to transfer your license to a new address?
No, I was actually, under my understanding though, that the shop is not rented out yet. I did win the suit over at Brian Bond. I was actually interested in re-renting it out. I just drove by the shop before I came here, and I see a for rent sign, but there's over 25 cars sitting in the lot right now. I called up this fellow, and I mentioned to him there was vehicles in the lot. I don't know who's under whose license, but the lot is full. I have pictures here for a month ago, and I have more pictures in the digital camera that I just shot like an hour and a half ago. So I'm just wondering whose cars are those. I mean, I would like to re-rent the shop out again. I did win the suit. So, I mean, I'm just sitting here right now. I mean.
Yeah, but.
All right, let me run it by you again. One of the requirements for a Class 2 license is that you actually have a lot.
Yes.
Where these cars are going to be stored. And I know that we talked about this when you were in last time.
I've sold
and I remember saying words to the effect of, we'll hold this matter open until the expiration of your lease. If you wanted to
it was
apply
until
to
the court date. It was supposed to be until the court date, and the court date did come. I did win the suit. He got awarded only some money for some damages.
All right, and
all
then,
my vehicles at the time that I left the shop, I sent them all to the auction, resold them, so I have no vehicles now. But I did drive by the lot. All these, I mean, I would like to see if you guys could look at these pictures. All these cars are sitting there. Can I see the digital camera too? These are a month ago, and all these vehicles have been sitting here over like a month and a half. These are, as of today, just hit the line right down the side.
here?
You can see, yes, you can see the way the inventory changed around a little bit. I mean, I was actually interested in re-renting the place out. I mean, I have a license, I need a spot. I did look around to the city of Lowell to a number of other spots to rent out. I mean, the rents are either too much or they're not zoned correctly. You look at the date and the time.
Yeah.
I mean, these
Okay.
two-
Yeah. But some of those are there.
Well, these are different. The 22 at 157.
Okay, but you had a dispute with the owner over the rent, didn't you?
And I already won that case.
Yeah, you won the case, but that doesn't mean that he's got to lease the lot to you now.
I understand that though, but I'm saying that I'm right now without a license. I'm still trying to find a location.
Yeah, I know, but
this just happened with the
go back to the mic, please.
We need to make sure it gets picked up on the mic for the recording.
Yeah. Okay, I understand what you're saying, and if I remember correctly, when you came in, the argument was that you had the license and you had a lease, and you were over disputes over paying the rent and who was going to pay the rent and who belonged to what and whatnot. And we said at the time, let the court sort it out, that we wanted nothing to do with that. That was, I believe, was that right?
Right. We pretty much left it in the hands of the court as far as the issues with respect to the rent and your lease. But your lease, under its own terms, has expired.
Yes, that's correct.
And we told you that you had, until the expiration of your lease, if you wanted to transfer, if you had a new lot or a new location that you wanted to transfer your license to, we would entertain that.
I mean, I'm looking throughout the city of Lowell. I mean, there's only one spot that I found off Chancellor Street. The rent there is like almost 2 times of what I was paying before, and it's a bigger lot. I mean, I'm only licensed for 10 vehicles. This other lot that I seen, I could probably put like 80 cars in there.
The guy said I can feel for you, but I can't reach you.
Okay.
You haven't got a lease. You haven't got a place.
I mean, what's my period of time to try to get a place? I mean,
your
am I
license.
gonna,
Okay, your license requires. Go ahead, Brian.
I just want to point out that if you cancel or revoke the license, which they're the same thing, that neither Mr. Gonzalez, Mr. Gonzalez or the premises cannot get a future license without approval from the Registrar of Motor Vehicles. I just tell you that because if it ends up canceling or revoking it, it's not only he that loses the license, but it's actually the premise that it's on. I don't know if he wants to surrender his license today or not, but if you do end up canceling the license, no one will be able to occupy that location without getting approval from the registrar. And I just want to make the commissioners aware of that.
I'm sorry, I wasn't effect to that, or wasn't aware of that. How does that process work? And I just want to know any decisions we make today, what kind of ripple effect are we going to have?
From what I can tell, because it talks about licensing, it's 140, section 59. It talks about licensing authority, revocation, notice. You know, if they're non-compliant with any condition, which is what it would be, it shall be revoked, and if it's revoked, no new license shall be granted to such person thereafter, nor to any person for use on the same premises without approval of the registrar. So, and then obviously, if it was denied or it was canceled, he could go to Superior Court and petition for a review. My guess would be, if it's denied, the first step would be for whether it's Mr. Gonzalez or the new person that they would contact the registrar first, because they would ultimately need, it wouldn't, I mean, my read of it is, it doesn't matter what the license commission would do, it'd be up to the registrar to whether or not they would allow it, that a cancellation or revocation affects not only the person, but the premises. So I thought you should...
Only in Massachusetts. Only in Massachusetts.
I mean, last time we were sitting here, Mr. Bond was saying about back taxes and et cetera, et cetera. This year so far, I paid over $15,000 in taxes. I mean, he's complaining about losing money. I paid $2,200 a month for rent. I paid for my dealer plates. I paid for everything. The last month that he found me a buyer, I tried to move out as soon as possible to get this deal going, and all of a sudden he takes me to court right away because the deal fell through. It didn't go through. I mean, it's like, I'm losing a lot of money here. I paid $15,000 for that license. I brought the business. I don't want to let it go. I want to try to move it somewhere else. Another thing too, I mean, it's a 10-car license. The spot's zoned for 10 vehicles. There's over 25 cars there.
Okay, step aside, please.
All right.
Let's hear from the landowner.
For the record, my name is Brian Bond, I'm the property owner
Right.
at Cambridge Street. I guess my question is, I was a little confused on what you were saying, but I believe the process is that the new tenant would have to apply for a license. We would have to go through the registry anyways. Don't all dealers have to go through the registry in order to get their dealer's license?
I don't know. I can just tell you what the law says for the license. What it says is, you could get it, but they need to get the approval of the registrar. It says no.
And I think that's part of the process of getting a dealer's license. My other comment was, we did go to court, and the court did find in favor of both of us. There was $900 awarded to me, $2,000 awarded to him. So they, you know, they don't tell you for what reason it was small claims. But, you know, this gentleman is no longer a tenant of mine. I'm trying to get a new tenant in there. I've got a lease agreement with the new tenant. He's got his paperwork.
Well, you know, as far as I'm concerned, you're the guy that's going to lose the money.
Right.
If we cancel his license, then you've got to get the property relicensed as a used car lot. Do you understand that?
Yes, and my question, I guess, is whenever a tenant moves out of a property and a new tenant moves in...
It's different. They voluntarily move out. This is what I think the solicitor's saying is, if we cancel the license, if we cancel an active license, okay? And I think that probably the founding fathers put that in place so that, you know, you couldn't favor one used car dealer over another. If we cancel his license because he doesn't have a place to go, your used car lot is unlicensed, okay? And you got to go through whatever hoops you got to go through to license it. That's layman's terms, right?
Right.
Okay. The decision's yours. It's not mine.
Well, of course, I'm not an attorney.
Wait, does this attorney represent you?
I represent Mo's Auto Body, the would-be successor to this property. And an application has been filed with Mr. Nguyen, and we're here today seeking permission from this body to approve the application for his license. It's my understanding from Mr. Bond, who owns the property, that the Gonzalez brothers abandoned this unit back in May, and it sat vacant during this period of time. So Mr. Bond went out seeking a replacement. And Mo's Auto Body, and he came to terms, a lease was approved, and it has been submitted for your consideration today.
And counsel, I am on board with you 100%. I mean, I'm looking at it, the lease issue is expired. I mean,
by its own terms, right.
Okay, on its own terms. It would have either had to have been renewed or an application to transfer would have had to have been made by now. So I guess my only question is, does the property owner want us to
Revoke the
revoke
existing,
or
that is correct.
the
The lease
existing license
expired
on
by
the
its own
property?
terms, and Mr. Bond, who's the owner of the property, has negotiated in good faith with Mo's Auto Body, which has a good track record in the city of Lowell, and it's owned and managed by his
And does
daughter.
your-
There's a power of
I hate
attorney.
to interrupt, but counsel, does your client understand that they're going to have to make an application for a license? It'll have to get approved by the registrar.
That's before you today, and we're seeking approval.
Well, we don't make the decision for the registrar, but if we revoke this, their application has to go through the registrar as well.
I see.
To have anything on that premises, because it would revoke a license on the premises, is what our esteemed counsel here
The
is telling
council is
us.
saying, Counselor, that the used car lot is licensed by the state, because when we grant them a license, they have the right to go get dealer plates. That's why everybody wants to hang on to their used car license. It has nothing to do with the real estate. It's get me those plates. I can go down to the auction and buy a couple of cars, okay?
Right.
So the parking lot itself has a license from the state. And then we license the used car dealer. The city licenses the used car dealer. Now, if the dealer that's there moves off the property of his own volition.
And that's the position we've taken.
No, he didn't. Excuse me. And has his license go someplace else or turns his license in, the new guy coming on doesn't have to go to the registry to get the property licensed again.
And again, just the more I read this, I don't think Mo's, the way it reads is if it's revoked, no new license shall be granted without the approval of the registrar. It almost needs, it reads to me that you need to be pre-approved.
Registrar approval, right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm with you 100%.
I am too.
I understand
The other side of the
I understand
coin-
that there's a difference between a surrender, a transfer, and a revocation.
No, but
So,
I was just
yeah.
reading it as, I don't even know if you could grant a license. Say you cancel the license, I don't know that you could issue a new one today to Mo's.
As far as the dealer
'Cause
plates
it
are
could just be
concerned,
stayed until the, because you're gonna need, no license will be valid until the registrar approves it. So I
we're
don't know
aware
the
of that,
question
and
whether or not
we're
you
prepared
could
to
issue.
seek the,
Yeah. Certainly. Who are you?
My name is George Karan. I run the lot on Middlesex Street. I was in back twice. I have a 65-car used car license that I'm the manager of at this time.
Where on Middlesex Street are
The
you?
old Marty Motors in front of a Charisma.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I was here with Vito.
Yep.
Right? With the way it works is you have to find a location. I come before you and get permission from you to give me an okay for that, for there. That does not mean the registry is gonna tell me it's okay for me to have dealer plates. Then they come out and they inspect it and they grant me plates and tell you how many plates they will grant you for the size of the lot. And the license plates are not transferable. If I walked away from that license, I gotta turn in my plates and
Right.
turn in my license here. I can't take the license from here and hang it on another wall.
Exactly.
That's the way it works.
That's right, exactly. But they're talking about a revocation of the license, which is different from you, exactly what you're saying, of you turning in your license and turning in your plates.
Yep.
He's not gonna do that. He's not gonna do that.
Well, he doesn't have to do that.
Yes, he does.
His lease is already expired, so he no longer has a license there because he's not a tenant there any longer. The lease is run out. The lease that he put into you
Okay,
to get his.
all right, time out.
Easy,
Time
just-
out. All right, very simply. We're not here to talk about whether or not there was a court case. That's, as far as I'm concerned for today, over. All right? A lease is expired on its own terms. There's a
correct.
question today before the board as to whether or not to revoke the license that was granted in accordance with that lease. All right? If the property owner is asking us to go forward on that revocation, then we'll take a vote on it. The only reason we asked for any other input was the question as to whether or not this will have an effect with respect to the next item on the agenda, which is the application by Mo's Auto Sale for a license at that address. What we've been told by council, all right, is that it will need approval from the registrar if we do a revocation or cancellation. Okay, if we revoke a license at that address, We are being told by our city solicitor that it will. Now, whether or not it will is something that you guys are free to argue with the registrar. I'm just asking right now whether or not the property owner wants us to go forward on the question of whether or not to revoke the license that was issued to Mr. Gonzalez for premises at 147, license number 716B.
Okay, so can I say one thing?
No.
Okay.
I just want to hear from the property owner, and I'm sorry about that.
All right,
But
our
I'll talk to you in a
position
minute.
is that the Gonzalez brothers abandoned this particular location back on May 3rd of this year. And so
Say again?
Mr. Bond, who owns the property, obviously wants to secure his investment, and he solicited a replacement. And in doing so, Mo's Auto Sales came to the plate and they struck a deal. And that's the reason why we're here today with our application seeking your approval.
Okay.
Yeah, but,
Can I get a minute?
wait.
Can we do this the easiest way? Can I speak to Mo for like 2 minutes?
No. Excuse me.
That's fine, and then I'll sit down, I'll let you guys.
You know, running this business,
Okay, wait, you look,
running this business for about 10 years now. When my father had passed away, and then when I took over the property,
Yeah.
I've had a couple car dealers that have come in, and the registry has come in, inspected the property.
Yeah.
So I imagine at that time, the license
This-
was surrendered, and the registry had to come and inspect it.
Right.
Okay it. Same with, in order to get their dealers plates, they have to come down and look at the property.
right.
Each new
That
tenant
signs surrendering a license. That's not what the solicitor's talking about. I want to tell you right up front, if you read the next thing, and Commissioner White is saying, if you read the next one, okay, read the next one. It's the next one says that Mo's wants a license for it, okay? I don't think you want to take this vote right now. I really don't.
Hold on a second. Yeah, if we could,
Yeah,
please.
pass it to my attorney.
Knock that off. All right. I mean, I don't care. I'm ready to vote on the issue.
well,
I mean, you know,
the thing
as
is-
long as he, if he's,
You can have it, Gonzalo. You can have the extra 1,000. Get it done.
All right, well,
You have to actually pay the bill already.
excuse me, if we have about 3 minutes, we might be able to resolve this amongst the parties. May we have 3 minutes? No more. Excuse me, Gonzalez?
Can we talk out here?
Make it fast, let's go, we got 3 minutes.
So, it's my understanding, if he surrenders it, then we're good. I got Pop Warner at 5:30, the coach. I'm gonna be late.
I'll give it to you right now. Your Honor, I'm hopeful that within 30 seconds, Mr. Gonzalez will suggest to this body his wish to withdraw any complaints, and he'll voluntarily pursue abandoning the license and he will not have any problem with Mr. Mo's Auto Sales getting the new license.
All right.
If I'd be less unfair with you if I didn't tell you.
Okay.
Counsel,
He's gonna voluntarily
I mean,
give up his license.
my take on it is, I will vote on anything as long as people go into it with their eyes open.
Front center, guys. Let's go.
This thing should never, this was supposed to be a continuance.
Which one?
The package store, that was supposed to be a continuance.
Oh, okay. Then let's call them up and...
That's why they've been sitting here.
Oh, counsel, I'm sorry. Let's call them up while we're waiting. If it was just for...
Mr. Chairman, just
Brian
for
Correa
purposes of
again.
going back, revisiting a situation we started out with earlier in the meeting, about 2 hours ago. Wow. The transfer of the Ramos package store license to do the corporation, Ram Corporation.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I just wanted it to be understood. I had a call from an attorney, Devlin.
Demarcus,
Out of
Attorney
the
Demarcus.
office that represents Mr. Patel. And it was my understanding that this matter was to be continued. There was no reason for them to be sitting here for 2 hours.
Counsel, my apologies.
Mr. Patel,
if I had realized that,
you
we
should
shot
have been
out of
here at 3 o'clock.
I wasn't aware that it was to be continued until Mr. Patel showed up.
Oh,
Okay.
So
sorry.
he's been duly chided.
Make a motion to continue it till
September 6th.
September 6th.
That would be fine. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay, sorry about
Thank you.
that.
I
That's
apologize
okay.
for
Our
keeping you waiting for
apologies.
so long on that.
Mr. Chairman, I think Mr. Patel owes the gentleman an apology. You should have been here at 3 o'clock.
Sorry, it was the parking lot I couldn't get.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Next
Yeah.
time, I would plan on being here about 2:45, sir.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Sorry about that.
I didn't realize that these other gentlemen were representing Mr. Ramos.
Oh, my God.
Okay.
And there was a...
Sorry, guys.
There was an issue with the
You guys got to see a
financing
lot.
that needs to be resolved, so... All right, Mr. Patel.
Thank you, sorry about that.
Sorry, gentlemen.
We have a favorable report to submit.
I knew there was something strange about that.
Mr. Gonzalez.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. You have the floor.
Yes,
You're going to voluntarily give it
yes.
up.
Just to put a smile on everybody's face, I will do that today.
Did you say?
To put a smile on everybody's face and try to make this easier,
Yeah.
we'll end it.
One way or the other, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
he
but,
told
it, but it is.
Yes, the license is going to be surrendered.
There you go.
There you go.
You know, we
There you
might
go.
just remember
that car you told me you had to sell. Do you still have that vehicle? I might need it.
There
Last
you
time
go.
I was here, you told me you had a car for me. I might need that car.
This is no place to discuss that.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
You.
Can I get my paper, please? You have a copy of that?
All right.
All right.
Okay, make me a copy.
Counselor.
Can we get a copy of this, please?
Sure. You can keep
Huh?
that. You can keep that.
Okay.
Okay, we
You are
understand.
prepared
You
to
know what
answer any-
bothers me here is Mo has his daughter's name on this.
Yes.
She's
She's the
in charge
present
of this.
treasurer and sole stockholder.
Why?
And she submitted a limited power of attorney authorizing her father, who's in the courtroom today. That's been submitted to Ryan Wood, the executive secretary.
I saw that. Why isn't she here?
She's in Florida on vacation. I've spoken to her on the phone, and that's the reason why I had her execute in Florida a power of attorney, and that was faxed to us, a copy of which has been presented to Ryan Wynn, the executive secretary. She resides at 41 Love Street in Lowell. That's 41 Drugs. If there are any other questions, I'll be happy to entertain them. The Morris family has a background of being in the used car business. They run a clean shop, and they're a credit to the city of Lowell.
What do you want to do?
I would respectfully request, by virtue of Mr. Morris's age and his work ethic, that you give him approval so he could proceed with consummating this transaction.
we just have a straight application?
Yeah, it's just a used car at the.
Okay.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, there's one thing I'd respectfully request, and that is that the number of vehicles be 25 as part of the consideration.
Okay. That is a big building. Who else is going to be in this building with him?
I'm sorry?
Who else is going to be in this building with him?
Mr.
It's a big
Coran.
building.
Mr. Coran will be a principal in the operation of the business. But once again, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, it's imperative that there be sufficient approvals for at least 25 automobiles to make
how many were on the
this
license
workable.
before?
It was, I think it was 10 before. Right.
Yeah, but he don't make that decision, we do.
I mean, has he got sufficient square footage?
Does he get the,
Is it 200 per car? Right.
okay, so has he got,
Do we have enough square footage?
The description would be 3,100 square feet.
In this day and age, I think I'd have a calculator on my watch or something.
yeah. Get out your cell phone.
I don't have high-speed cell phones like you do, Council. All right.
We never were good at math. Relax.
That gives 17. At 100, at 180, you come up with 1,200 and, I'm sorry, you come up with 40 unaccounted for square feet. At 17 cars with 40 extra square feet.
Give you 20. It comes up to 17.
May I be heard on that issue, Mr.
Huh?
Chairman? May I be heard on that issue? The lot itself is 3,100 square feet.
Right.
And it's, I'm sorry?
The lot's 31,000.
31,000 square feet. However, a certain section has been segregated to accommodate 25 automobiles. By virtue of the amount of rent that they're being called upon to pay.
Oh, that includes the building. Sorry about that. Yeah. Okay.
This is what the dimensions would be 91
That's going to be tight.
and 45. This is what he's offering. Unless he tells you something different, but this is, he has no plan. There's no plan other than what the attorney's office submitted.
Yeah.
This is the original plan.
Oh, please.
Come up, please.
Approach. Yeah.
This is going to be your his office. The car's going to be.
That's the office, and then there's the outside space.
Okay, the yellow is the space where the cars are going to be?
No, actually, it's, the space pretty much is right there. This is the Gonzalez's I must have had. So, and again, my father ran his car business out of here for 30 years till his death. This space is where the cars is gonna go. This space here, and there's a couple rows here of cars, which allows us.
So you're saying all of this space here
Correct.
is
It's
going to be
space.
for cars?
Correct.
Mr. Chairman, with all due respect, the application is deficient in that there is no proper plan with the application, and I question the language in the lease, because the plan that was on file that presumably would have been the one to be used is now being, you're now being told for the first time, and I for the first time being told, that this is an expanded area for the new tenant. The Gonzaleses did not have this. And I think that the application that's been filed is deficient in that regard.
Well, based on the reputation they've had all these years, I mean, to eke out...
Attorney Saab, don't speak to me about reputation, about all these years. I've been in the office for 27 years.
And you've done an
I
admirable job.
know a lot about the used car dealers in the city.
And
I think we need to get an updated drawing of this. Obviously, if you're giving him all this space, he's got more than enough space for 25 cars. But the plan doesn't show that, nor does the lease describe that.
The lease does describe 25 vehicles.
Oh, it says, yeah, doesn't it? The space.
Give us an updated,
There's some more plan, but highlighted it.
Exactly, on all the space, so that we go by and take a look at it, and we're gonna know that that's where the cars should be. Because this is how these things all get out of hand, is you drive by and you look, you say, God, he was only supposed to have 10 cars. They got them in the lot across the street and down the...
Well, that's why we're telling you 25, so
No.
it's not...
Okay.
It'll be capped at 25.
Yep. Okay, bring in an updated plan on it,
all right.
okay? Oh, okay.
No.
Well, it's just, it'll...
How soon can you get the engineer or somebody to give you the plans?
Oh, he can,
That was actually my plan, that was all...
An application and it's a record of the license commission.
okay,
A copy of it?
yep, okay. All right. October 3rd, 4th, 6th. What? No.
You're way out.
Oh, wait a minute, yeah, that's right, we got, oh, shit. No.
Let's pick a new,
Yeah, we gotta pick a new. We were talking about,
again this month, if you'd like.
It's been a long ordeal, you know? I mean, some marriages haven't lasted this long, you know?
tell me about it.
You know, painful.
Will the applicant be back by next week? By the,
I'll be honest with you.
by the 16th, or by the, yeah, the 16th?
Can we grant the conditional
If your legal residence is
floor
41
plan?
days, but,
Yeah,
but, I mean, I have a phone number, I was talking to her yesterday, and I faxed this one of the power of attorney down, and it came back.
Yeah.
Is it possible to condition the application with the approved plan showing the outline of the said property? Seeing that we've got it right in front of us. It's not, it's just a matter of re-highlighting.
Yeah. I know. It's-
Very much if you approve it with the understanding that the plan that you were seeking will be here tomorrow.
What do you wanna do, Ray?
I'll make myself available, but I'm telling you, the week of the 23rd, I am on orders.
Oh, I know that. I'm trying to figure out what's the next date reasonably get together.
I mean, I can go next week if you'd like.
To me, a week from today for, whatever.
Whatever comes up then.
Yeah.
This could be a matter of continuance of August 16th. I'll have to double check, make sure that this council chamber will be available, otherwise we could possibly use some other
Okay.
building.
Is there any way of approving it with the condition at this time?
Attorney, with this guy in conflict and everything going on, and I know it's been a marriage, and I know it's been aggravating and everything, but I know. And what's gonna happen is, the other guy's gonna say, hey, you only gave me this, and now the area, so I really wanna cross my Ts and dot my Is, so somebody can't come back at us and say, how come after I gave up my license, you gave him all this space that I couldn't have? You know what I mean?
We're looking at a week.
Yeah. You get a copy of this and we'll have it all kind of, and I would like the principal. No.
We're meeting special session for you next week.
Yep. Yeah, we will. What's the next date, Ryan?
Thank you very much. I don't want to hold it
I'd like to print, I'd like the young lady that's gonna be in charge of this used car lot to appear. I understand, but I'd like the, yeah, I really do. I really think that she should be here. She should she should understand that she's, taking on this responsibility. What's the date we got, buddy?
You're looking at a week from today, which is August the 16th.
Right.
The following week, 23rd, Commissioner Weichel will be out of state, understandable. Normally that would have been a regular meeting day. There is a remote possibility, and I'm just hearing this through the grapevine, it's a remote possibility that there may be a new member of the commission who may be confirmed as soon as August 14th. There's no basis in fact on that, just a kind of a rumor.
Yeah.
So if that were the case, the new member could sit
Fill
with
in.
you for the August 23rd date. I know Attorney James Flood has an application for a client that he's been anxious to get before you. It's just a question of doing the legal notice for public hearing on the transfer of the liquor license. He'd like to have the hearing date set for August 23rd. Had a conversation with him on that subject yesterday, and he seems to think that leave it at that.
All right, you said we could,
The next meeting is, I'll be out of town on the last week of August, so then it would be September the 6th.
all right, so basically the only Thursday we got open is the 16th. Is that what you're saying?
Right, and we may or may not have another commissioner by then. in which
Even
case
whether
you
we
could
do,
the
we don't.
23rd, but if you do, you could do the 23rd. But,
Hopefully, if we have everything in order, we can finalize on the 16th.
You want to play on the 16th?
I will, yes, the 16th.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate the courtesies you afforded my client. Thank you.
Okay. See you on the, yep, 3 o'clock.
Thank you. All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, if I may just kind of quickly sum up some items. There is an application for transfer of the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant license from Rainbow Cafe of Lowell, Inc. Nancy Papajaju is the president, to Charlie's Pot of Gold, Inc. Charles D. Gill, president, for premises at 14 Cabot Street. There being 2 unnumbered doors. The first floor is 1 room for lounge, 2 rooms for storage. Attorney James Flood is representing the Mr. Charles Gill, who is buying the business. He's requesting that a hearing date be set for August the 23rd. My conversation with Mr. Attorney Flood was such that there was no reason to think that the commission would be holding a regular meeting on that date. He was somewhat insistent that, and I guess for the sake of his client, he would like to have that hearing date for the 23rd. Certainly, there was a legal notice required on this application. A legal notice may be published for the Monday, August 13th, for a hearing on August 23rd. I'm not sure if that
how much
is
advance notice does he have to give for the hearing? Is it 1 week? 10 days?
It's 10 days. So
Okay.
the legal notice has to be published a minimum 10 days prior to the date of the hearing. So is it presumptuous of the board to consider a hearing date on the 23rd when there is no third member?
That's crazy.
And I don't know whether you could assume anything by this time tomorrow?
You know what, why don't we just throw it right back on him? He is on notice that unless we have a new member, there will not be a meeting on the 23rd. If he still wants to front the cost and publish for the 23rd, just in
Yeah.
case we have a new member.
There you go.
That is the decision that he and his client can make.
I think that's the decision
yeah.
he would like to hear from the board.
And then I'm more than happy to, with the understanding that I won't be here, I'm more than happy to make the motion to put it on for
Okay,
the 23rd.
so I'll do a legal for Monday, the 13th?
And, yes, if he wants that date.
And
you
then
know,
we'll just...
with the understanding that we may not be meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Unless he'd like me to rule on it by myself.
I think he would, Mr. Chairman.
You think he would, huh?
Anyways,
I'll
that's
send you a
either
power
him.
of attorney.
We do have some various communications. One I just want to bring to your attention is something interesting is from pastor of the Lawrence Street Primitive Methodist Church. Apparently, the congregation had a meeting with a potential applicant for a beer and wine license who I may or may not have made acquaintance with in the office. But apparently, the governing body for the church had voted that they would oppose any such application on record. So that's just for some later consideration.
I received a number of phone calls from members of his congregation who are opposed to it.
Okay.
It's right across the street practically.
Anyways, that's
Okay.
that's about it. All I have to say on this.
All right, well, we will
right.
definitely meet, because Ray's going away on vacation on the 16th
vacation.
at 3. That will be our next. This program will be rebroadcast Sunday and Saturday and Sunday morning at 10 o'clock. There being no further, wow.
Any comments from the audience at large?
I definitely
Okay,
wanted to take up something about the festival. I think we need to write a letter to that committee in regards to the license, the alcoholic license, the license for amplified sound, etc. It was kind of a real mishmash and a real chase around, run around to try to accommodate them, and in the end, we couldn't do it. I think, they deserve every consideration as anybody else, but I think also the board deserves and the city deserves. So a letter, an appropriate letter from either the secretary or the law department.
And you're referring to the festival that didn't bother to seek
Right.
put any applications
Right.
into the License Commission? Okay.
Puerto Rican Festival. Well, I'll get with you on it.
That's why.
Make it so you'll know.
It never came before us, and we were getting phone call requests.
Mr. Chairman, just for the sake of...
Yep.
I mean, I appreciate what you're saying, and I understand there's a lot of frustration with a lot of people who dealt with Mr. Jose Neves on the matter of the Puerto Rican Festival at the North Common. I'm acquainted with Mr. Neves from some years ago. And I apologize, but the point is, Mr. Neves never approached the License Commission for any license for alcohol beverages at the North Common. Now, whether there was some understanding that he may have assumed by having gone before the Board of Parks in February of 2007.
No, he never discussed any alcohol with them.
So I think if Mr. Neves has any issue, then I think we could then address that. But I believe that Andy St. Onge, the Special Events Coordinator, had a go-around with Mr. Neves on more than one occasion last week, and then probably the Law Department as well, and yourself.
We did.
I'm not sure who you would want to address a communication to.
I think they have a festival committee.
Well, whose festival committee? That's
I don't know. We didn't really ever find out who.
In checking the records, in 2006, Mr. Nieves came and applied for both an alcoholic license and an amplified sound for 2006. You could probably use that same contact information, I would assume, but for whatever reason, nothing was done in 07.
Okay, may I ask Brian how that information came to you? But in 2006?
Through combing through old License Commission records.
Okay.
Wow, somebody had
Let
like
me,
a really
double
free
check on that.
Saturday.
No, someone had to find out really quick what
Okay.
the prior history was.
Okay.
All right.
That being it, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that motion.
Motion made and seconded. Everyone say yes. I'm coming home, Benjamin.
Whatever that means.